Just do it. I have to admit, it was pure genius. With that in mind, we probably will never feel ready to go and share the Word of God, but God wants us to just do it. We may be afraid to make a mistake and turn someone off, or be embarrassed that we might not have all the right words, experiences, or scripture references. But God is much bigger than all our inadequacies and mistakes. He simply wants our hearts ready and willing to share with others what He has done for us.
Tony Dungy, author of the popular Uncommon book series. More at CoachDungy.com. That's CoachDungy.com.
Donors choose. Support a classroom. Build a future. Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? Let's do the math. That comes out to over $1.2 billion a year. And that's just not right. At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Here's what you can do. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, history, and more. Once a request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. Teachers' needs have never been greater. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org. Donors Choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
As the Atlanta Braves continue to battle through the National League, they've got all of baseball on notice that they're ready to make another run.
2 on, 2 out, the pitch. Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzy! Ball game!
Tonight, it's another huge interleague matchup from historic Fenway Park in Boston as Austin Riley and the Braves face off with the Red Sox.
Coverage starts tonight at 6. First pitch at 6:10. On your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
And the Braves are back in front.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida. Ready.
Deep center field and heading for the horizon.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
Onion pickles, onions, pickles.
The Afternoon Underdogs
Way back and gone.
on ESPN.
Northwest Florida. ESPN Northwest Florida is on location at Dave & Buster's.
denominator of what it is. It is Drew.
Drew screaming in the microphone.
Hey, I got to bring the energy.
What? Wow, man. So, again, I think that I need to have show sheets with us on Wednesdays because if I come in without the show sheet, we go off the rails in the first 30 seconds.
Your hat, though. Let me tell you.
I know.
Crosstown rivalry weekend.
Oh, yeah. How about that last night? Dansby Swanson with 2 dingers.
Suzuki stealing a grand slam?
Yeah. There you go.
Getting swept by the Reds next week. This will be awesome.
Bro, you know when it's crosstown rivalry week, they're like...
That's fair. No, that's fair.
What's so cool about it is that, so this is the first year that we're sitting here with each team playing every single team, and in the same very week, you've got the crosstown rival of the Chicago White Sox, the Chicago Cubs, you've got the Astros and the Rangers, you've got the Yankees and the Mets, the Marlins and the Rays. Who beat the Rays? The Marlins beat the Rays today 7-1. There's one other one out there.
Yeah, you need those rivalry games.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they got them all in the same week,
I do
though.
too.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like they do college with the rivalry.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear an unbelievable stat while we're talking about baseball for a second?
Of course.
So the Reds lost again to the Brewers today.
Woo.
Giving them they're 3-10 against the Brewers this season.
That makes you so mad, too.
Dude, it makes me so, because we're better than the Brewers. You know what I mean? Like that's what really hurts. But we're 3-10 against the Brewers this season. So since June 1st, the Reds have lost to the Brewers 10 times, and they've lost to the rest of the league 9 times.
I mean, Brew City, baby. It does things to people.
It's crazy.
It's Brew City does
Brew
that?
City, yeah.
Brew City.
Also a crazy fact.
Okay.
Major League
Amanda, you better have one on tap.
Major League Baseball has been around for 147 years.
Okay, I got this. I know where we're going.
And there have been a little over 23,000 players who have played in a professional baseball game. To put that into perspective, MLB's smallest stadium by capacity is Progressive Field.
That's Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
At 37,830.
Pretty progressive.
Meaning, if every player who's ever put on a big league uniform from 1876 to 2023 sat in the stands, the stadium would only be at 61% capacity.
That's how hard it is.
So it's super hard to be a pro player.
That's insane to think about.
That's why if you have one good season in baseball, you will get paid.
Yeah. True. And baseball is a little bit different than other sports, whereas they pay you for what they expect you to do in the future. With baseball, you get a little a tinge of we're paying you for what you've done for us here in the past. What's your crazy stat, Amanda?
I don't have a crazy stat. He said.
Oh, I know that, but Kyle's given one. Drew's given one. So, all right, mine is, for the first time in forever, Amanda is not wearing pink on Wednesday, and that is egregious. My real one.
Listen,
Linda.
I'm wearing a United States women's soccer jersey because we play tonight at 8 p.m.
There we go.
In the World Cup.
Who are they playing?
The Netherlands.
There you go.
Don't try to quiz me like I don't know. We're playing the Netherlands, which Germany doesn't play again until Sunday at like 4:30 in the morning because of course we can't. Yeah.
Oh, how's their tournament going to this point?
So far so good. I mean, it's the group stages, so they're expected to make it out of group. So is the USA. The USA won the last 2 World Cups, so it's going to be, once we get out of the group stages, it'll be really fun.
If it was USA versus Germany in the final, who are you rooting for?
USA. That is different than my husband. He would root for Germany.
He would root for Germany?
Yes, he would.
All right. I guess my crazy stat is going to be, in his last start, Spencer Strider reached 250 career innings pitched. His 390 strikeouts are tied with Billy Wagner for 6th most in Major League Baseball history. Like Wagner, the other 5 pitchers who had more were all primary relievers in Josh Hader, Aroldis Chapman, Craig Kimbrell, Dylan Betances and Betances and Kenley Jansen. So pretty impressive stuff there from a starter. He's going to be going up against the Boston Red Sox, who beat the Braves last night 7-1, and the lone highlight for the Braves was an 8-3-5 triple play, which is pretty cool.
I have a question for, I'm sorry, Drew, go ahead.
And also, somehow, some way, Boston got a random double play that was just beyond me.
Yeah? What stage of the game was that?
It was, I can't remember exactly. I saw it this morning, and it reminded me about it. But it was, they had it was a play to the second baseman where he catches it and kind of almost flips it to the shortstop, but he ends up running over, catches it on the line, then tries to throw it to first and just bounces it. And then they call him safe at first and call him safe at second. And then next thing you know, they go to appeal, and they got the out on the catch and the out at third because the guy who had, after the throw, had gone awry. He had gone left second and went to third, but they called him out. And I'm just sitting there going,
Baseball.
how in the world does this make sense?
Yeah, no doubt. So obviously we're out here at Dave & Buster's in Pier Park, and the beautiful thing about Wednesdays out here, I mean, every day is beautiful at Dave & Buster's, but the beautiful thing about Wednesdays is half-price games, and then you also got happy hour right now, which is half-price cocktails from 4 to 7 p.m.-ish. I guess we'll say. But Amanda, there's also been some really cool things happening around here today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? All right, I'll tell everyone.
You tell us about that. You've been here all day.
I've been here all day, so I'm on a double.
I'm working a double today at Dave & Buster's.
I'm on a double at Dave & Buster's. No, you've got fourth quarter sports online, or fourth quarter football online. They are here, four quarters online. They're here doing a media day, and it's been really cool. Got lots of schools out here: Weewaw, Mariana, Chipley, Bay, Graceful, Mosley, Walton, Bozeman, South Walton, North Bay Haven, Holmes County, Sneads, and Rutherford. So it's been a lot of fun. They've had some athletes out here. They've had all of the coaches. We had, me and Kyle had some opportunities to go in there and ask them some questions. Y'all did a great job setting this up. Dave & Buster's working there with fourquartersonline.com. You can go check out the website. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. And I thought it was really cool for the kids who, you know, it looks just like a media day. They're getting their pictures taken and all of that good stuff.
That was the main thing we were trying to hope for, you know, local kids and getting them here, getting them involved. That feel that a lot of them won't.
Right.
Probably end up getting it. And we invited additional players other than the specific players that the media wanted. We invited some other players with them, gave them some power cards. Just kind of made a day out of it.
Yeah.
I think it was really cool how, like, there are, like, what, I didn't count off the top of my head, but there's at least, 10 or 11 schools, right, that were invited today. And the scheduling was done so well that it's, like, that's not congested in those rooms. It's not congested in Dave & Buster's. There's still plenty of room to move around. Weirdly enough, almost more room to move around than usual out there right now.
Yeah, the way they set up those tables, it's magic.
But they're doing a really good job tailgating out in the parking lot.
I know,
It's really cool.
Well, it's the whole experience, you know, like, so we want the whole tailgate option, and, you know, it's one of those fun days. School's going to come back here in a minute, so it's just one of those things that, you know, if I were a student and got to go to, that I hope I remember.
Yeah. I love that.
I think they will remember it, and it's a great way to kick off the high school football season right here in Northwest Florida. And, you know, if this happens again next year, hopefully it becomes bigger and better. You know, obviously you had a lot of media here with WMBB, WJHD, I believe Fox was here, ESPN was here, Northwest Florida was here. So yeah, a lot of fun. I'm just giving credit where credit is due to everyone that was out here.
But still, you know, those kids see the ESPN logo and they're like, "Oh, I've made it."
Yeah.
We are way more important.
Goodness gracious. That's coming over there.
I still think that.
I'll say it. I'm not on the payroll.
Yeah, exactly. I just.
Well, I guess technically, kinda. I'm on Mosley's payroll.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's gonna be a great season, though. Can't wait for that. Also, give you guys an opportunity to talk a little bit about Saquon Barkley.
Ooh.
Let's pay a little attention here, Drew.
I hate how that whole thing unraveled. Like, literally the day after, they go out and sign Andrew Thomas to all that money.
Yeah.
Like, I hate how that played out.
Yeah.
Call me out for not paying attention. I'm going to call right back.
I just realized, like, this is one of the only, like, rooms we don't have, like, a camera in. I was like, man, that'd be so fun to, like.
It's right there. It's probably
Oh, it is there. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from the other side, though.
Yeah.
But please don't look at all the footage.
We only look at cameras when we have to look at footage.
Okay, good.
But, yeah.
But I'm sympathetic to the Giants a little bit, because I get that it's a running back, and I get you're not going to want to give him $1.001 billion.
What? $1 billion? That's
But at the same,
money.
but at the same little bit, it's like, at the end of the day, it was the literal day after.
That they had the Zoom meeting and all of that kind of stuff.
Literal day after. Like, at some point, you've got to have some tact to you and at least put it a day, 2 days, 3 days off, and then announce it. Like, at least show some respect.
I definitely feel that as far as from the perspective of the running backs that are in cahoots and they're trying to bump their value up and all of that good stuff. The Giants needed this to happen. Not only did they win the trade or win the signing, if you will, win the battle here, but they also needed Saquon Barkley, because if not, then there's a huge possibility that Daniel Jones is exposed a little bit more. I mean, the guy's a great runner. He's a good quarterback. There's no taking that away from him. But you take Saquon Barkley away from the Giants, and are we sure that they're going to be at the same caliber that we saw last year? Without none of us had any expectations for the Giants to be that team last year.
I just think it's a big hit. You can't lose someone like Saquon. I don't like how it all went down. I'm interested how it's going to work out. I mean, it's going to make their games more interesting to me. Like, again, preseason, I actually have to pay attention fantasy-wise.
Yeah.
Like, what do they have working here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was talking with Max about this yesterday, but we keep on looking at that Bears. We look at the Bears a lot because of Amanda here and Max as well. But I keep looking at that running back room because, of course, you got Khalil Herbert, who's going to be the starter going into the year. He's going to dominate the backfield for the Bears. And then you also have Deontay Foreman, a guy that I'm really high on. But also the draft, I think that's going unnoticed to a lot of people, is Roschon Johnson out of Texas. I think that's a great pickup, and I would not be surprised in the least if he's actually RB1 by the time we get to week 8 or 9.
And that's one of those things that I'm absolutely fine with, as long as that's what like mini camp and training camp has put forward for me. I have no problem with him being RB1. If that's a connection that works, I'm good for it.
Yeah, whatever helps Justin Fields be the best of his ability. Also want to remind you guys that right out here at Dave & Buster's, August 26th at 11 a.m., we've got our fantasy football leagues. Registration is now open. All you got to do is text your name, your email, and that you are available for August 26th at 11 a.m. I haven't checked the updated entries to this point, but I know we're getting close to going ahead to having to go ahead and open up that Coach James Hale League and having Coach James Hale. I'm going to put him on a crash course. Fantasy Football 101. I don't think that he has. I will make the assumption, and we all know what assuming can do. I would make the assumption that Coach Hale's never played fantasy football before.
Yeah.
He can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Crash course, you'll be fine.
He would need a much larger vessel, but he'd be able to do it. I'm serious. Like he would be able to accomplish it. The guy knows football.
Yeah,
he
just
that's
knows
all
football.
You need to do is know football, and then you can worry about the rest.
He'll build a team of like Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle,
Tula. He wouldn't call him
Tula.
It's Tula, baby. It's Tula. So also, let's see. How about Jaylen Brown before we forget on that? Because we are going to get into our GOAT of GOATs. Wow. We've got our, we're going to determine who the finals are in the finals. We've got that. We've got some Would You Rather, possibly. I don't know.
I think
Amanda Pending.
Well, I mean, if she's available, one, and then also if I can come up with some questions on the fly, because
I think we can definitely.
Everybody start texting them in.
But Jaylen Brown with that's a good idea. 850-215-6290, or on Facebook as well. Just text
anything you've ever wanted to ask Kyle. Would he rather? Just let us know.
And it doesn't have
sports or anything.
Right.
Just ask him whatever you
We'll
want.
answer it if David likes it. I say if we like it, but we won't
David's
ever
the
see
one
it.
that's gonna read 'em.
David's our criteria man.
Is that fair? Is that fair? We should be able to see this.
He's the one with the laptop in front, dog.
You can gather around me.
Type Would You Rather on Twitter again. Let's see what.
Oh man, goodness gracious.
Would you rather gather round?
Actually, it's not Twitter anymore, though, right?
It's X.
That is the lamest thing that I have seen. Why did Elon go and do that? Is he just trying to ruin Twitter so that he doesn't have to fight Zuck?
So I heard something. I heard something on the radio a couple days ago that apparently a guy had watched a video of Elon whenever he had first come out, and he had tried to start a website called thex.com, and basically it was Twitter-esque.
That sounds like a dating website gone wrong.
Yeah, and it was literal
Meet your ex right here.
But apparently he's got some fascination with the letter X.
Oh yeah, isn't his kids like Xena or Zenith or something?
I don't even know how to say it, but it's like
he's got some
axolotl.
weird fascination there with the letter X, and just wants it in every facet of his life. It's amazing.
Why didn't you name it like Twitter X?
Tesla doesn't have X. That's weird.
Don't they have a vehicle or something, or like a high model Tesla X or something like that?
I'm sure you can Google
I'm
it.
not Tesla verified, sorry.
neither.
I've seen more and more of them. So like, there must be an affordable model now.
It's above my pay grade.
Oh man, I don't know if I would.
I don't want one.
I don't want any.
I like driving.
Yeah, they do have a Tesla Model X. I don't think that I would ever want an electric, like a fully electric vehicle, not even a hybrid. Now, one day it's more than likely going to be shoved down our throats, and we're going to have to because of the laws or whatever.
California.
Well, yeah, exactly. But so in like 25 years, though, you know how it goes.
They've already got power outages over there, but that's
I know,
the most
it's
I'm going to
literally,
go into.
I think my favorite thing is that they're saying like, hey, don't use this. Get a generator, which is
using
run by
more
gas. To charge your vehicle because we don't allow gas vehicles.
We're over here encroaching on Coach James Hale's territory with talking about politics now. So.
I'm just pulling Facebook up to all of those who are riding with us today. We appreciate you. We got Caveman Rick. Oh, Caveman Rick's name on Facebook now is actually Caveman Rick. That's exciting. Let's go. Kyle Albritton, what's going on with you? We've got Justin. We appreciate all you guys sending us your thoughts and topics and comments and stuff. It's always a lot more fun when we have plenty of people to interact with. How about Jaylen Brown, though, getting that incredible... Actually, before we go that direction...
I'm watching Messi above you.
Well,
what a performance last night by Messi. Unbelievable.
Does Messi... And I think we talked about this a little bit on the Inside Drive. Does Messi make the MLS look bad, or is he just that good?
He's just that good, dude.
He's still that good.
He is just that good.
All right.
I mean, as long as you keep bringing players like that, you're going to gain fans, and then, tournaments like the World Cup and Gold Cup, all of those things are going to gain viewers, which I think is great. U.S. men have a great team, so I'm hoping they can do well in the next World Cup. And soccer's fun.
Yeah.
The French team, I was telling Nick about it, they had a really fantastic ad. Did anyone see it? No. Okay, women's soccer. So it's women's soccer, but they put up this ad, and it's just the French men's national team, and it's just goal after goal, and it's French, so they had subtitles, but it was just like, the most exciting sport, and it's just men and doing awesome goals, and it's just everyone's cheering in the pubs and the crowd and everything, and then it cuts and glitches, and it's, it's CGI'd. They actually CGI'd the women's games into looking like men, so they CGI it back, and they said, who said women aren't as exciting? And it was like the coolest World Cup ad ever.
So they CGI'd the women playing soccer?
It was actually the women's games you were watching.
Oh, but
they were saying, aren't these men so exciting? And they actually had CGI'd the men over the women game.
Oh, okay.
And there was some cool goals and everything. I was like, what good marketing that was.
Neat. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Jaylen Brown, though, signing a Supermax deal with the Boston Celtics. Thoughts on that? Like Jason Tatum, obviously, I think we could all agree Jason Tatum's the number one option over there in Boston, the best player over there in Boston. Does it mean anything to you? Like, I know a few years back, it'd be like, it was a little bit more rare that you would hear about a deal happening that now this guy is the richest player, or he's got the biggest deal that's ever happened in the NBA, NFL, MLB, or whatever. Now we've gotten to a point where that is yearly, twice a year, whatever. Does it even mean anything to you now when you see highest paid player or richest deal in NBA history?
Nope. Just means they got a good agent.
When it's a guy like Jaylen Brown, yes, it means something to me.
But it's not the player. It's their agent making this deal. It's like they just have a good agent. It's like getting a good lawyer.
I think that, it's a little bit of both, but I definitely agree with Drew more. And I think we're on the same wavelength here.
Listen, bestie.
We have made it to the point in basketball, specifically in basketball, where the second best guy on the team is the highest paid player in NBA history.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Like
atrocious.
I said, it's to the point where just anybody, if you have a good enough agent, you can make absolutely absurd amount of money. There's no reason for it. Like at some point, the money's going to run out, and it's going to end up putting us in a worse situation because, yes, I get that super teams have kind of ruined the NBA for most people, but in the same breath, you kind of need those super teams so there's a little bit more flexibility for the other teams out there. So it definitely gets a little interesting whenever you start getting so many people all together. and spreading out that money.
I appreciate you, Drew, putting on for the team right there and taking that over, man. That was great stuff. It's time for us to take a break. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We shall return, and I guess we'll dive into our Goat of Goats conversation, sports movies-wise.
I'm in.
Kyle?
I'm in.
Drew? Amanda? Not paying attention.
Sir. Listen,
You're bammed. You're bammed.
We'll
be back.
Scissors?
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
This is so funny, these storylines. 3-year title drought for Alabama. Are the young guys going to be the ones that bring them back to the promised land? Like, you didn't win a national championship in 3 years prior to all this Alabama and Georgia stuff. Like, it was not a big deal. Right. Now it's like national championship or bust.
Yeah.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's your weather forecast on this Wednesday afternoon. The remainder of the day, mostly sunshine and 90 with a gentle breeze coming out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies at the low near 80. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high around 89. By Friday, mostly sunshine most of the day except possible thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening and a high of 90. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Hi folks, I'm Tracy at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Santa called and he asked me to help everyone get ready for Christmas and avoid the stress and rush. So we've stocked the store and slashed the prices. All diamond jewelry 30 to 50% off this month. All diamond rings, pendants, earrings, bracelets, and necklaces. And we are offering free 6 months layaway. Tracy's Fine Jewelry takes the stress out of the holidays. So shop now where Santa shops during our Christmas and July sale at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
ESPN Northwest Florida is on location at Dave & Buster's.
And we are back as the Afternoon Underdogs here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live at Dave & Buster's in Pier Park, having a great afternoon. It's half-price games here on Wednesday, so if you come and find us right now, which we're in a kind of convenient and normal spot, we're going to make the assistant general manager give you a $10 power play card here to Dave & Buster's, and hopefully someone can go win the milk jug toss for me, because I'm the only person who can't get it done in this entire group right now.
Can you do it? Everybody else? Okay.
He is so long.
I don't usually cheat like that, though.
He just like steps into the little booth and just drops it. So
he cheats. I only did that one time last week, but no.
Carrie Underwood's got a song for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
That's why I set the camera up accordingly. You could tell I wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, could have been.
Yeah, exactly.
You could put magnets in the balls.
Mm-hmm. You know the people who work on these games.
She's got the green screen up, and she's got Kai taking the ball to it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That would have been a lot more wobbly, and he would have been like, "It's mine."
Yeah.
I put a TikTok out there today of him. He was killing it with the soccer ball today.
Saw the TikTok.
Yeah,
Saw the old TikTok.
Right? Isn't he adorable?
He is.
He
is. You can follow him in on TikTok at Nevermind.
Are we?
You can. I don't care.
At Nevermind. That's a nice username.
Are we going to get to the point where people are no longer referred to as YouTubers but TikTokers, or is that already a thing? And I'm just.
It's already a thing.
I don't think they're referred to as either anymore, because they're just influencers.
Influencers.
Yeah, influencers.
Influencer or internet personality.
Or just
internet
weirdos.
personality.
That's nice. It's very legal.
I think I'm just going to start calling myself David Hayes, human personality.
Yeah.
How's that work? Human
So
personality.
what about sports personality?
I'm actually strictly AI. So,
AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence, or the answer?
Allen Iverson.
Okay, cool. I like it, man.
Just as athletic. We look just alike. Side by side, couldn't tell us apart.
And I'm the truth.
I would say he's
possible,
got a little
baby.
bit of height on you. AI does, but outside of that, yeah, pretty close. What in the world happened?
What'd you do?
Oh, that's way different than I saw yesterday, buddy.
So I'm looking at the code.
Man,
This is
crazy
ridiculous.
Is that what I think it is? Took over?
It's over here now, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were going to have 2 to vote on. Yesterday it was sitting at 50%.
Dude.
And now We've got 974 responses, so overnight
Holy
this thing...
Don't tell me the
It wasn't even me.
the middle of the day just killed us.
You mean the mail-in ballots came in? And
We finally counted the mail-in ballots.
So we'll go over this real quick here.
They came in at 3 a.m., by the way.
They came in at 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
974 responses apiece. Moving on. The first, we've got a matchup here of
Should we hold hands?
Caddyshack and Waterboy. Let's not physically hold hands, but mentally let's hold brains with each other.
Hold hands.
All right. Waterboy takes down Caddyshack.
Yes.
89.9%.
Good job, everybody. 89
to 10.1%.
Somebody's
closer. No, that's Happy Gilmore. What an idiot.
Yeah, it's all good. 89. It's okay. We're foreshadowing.
Remember that time that Bobby Boucher took down Caddyshack?
We can do a whole bunch of quotes from different ones.
89?
Yeah, that was not like that yesterday, Drew.
Good Lord.
That was not like that. Adam Sandler found this. Is what happened.
Right? We finally got Adam Sandler in on this.
Seriously, though, because I did not check this afternoon, though. Like, I didn't check when we were here doing the inside drive or anything. So, but we were under like 400 votes.
If anything that I thought would have happened when I saw the swing, I thought that maybe Ryan had his guys go spam vote Caddyshack.
Yeah, which is legal.
Which is legal, right? 100%. But nope, not now.
So who's going to be taking on Caddyshack? I should probably turn off voting here. You know what? I probably should have done this at 12 o'clock this afternoon, and maybe we wouldn't be dealing with this whole situation right now. Taking on Waterboy in the GOAT of GOATs. Sports Movies Championship. The finale, the final two is going to be, drumroll please.
Oh, don't say it.
Someone get Dan Patrick on the line so that therefore the Afternoon Underdogs can get Adam Sandler on the line. It is an all Adam Sandler final. Happy Gilmore takes down the entire franchise of Rocky, 90.9% to 9.1%.
Your movie sucks.
Oh, no.
They don't suck. It's just Happy Gilmore's better.
I've never...
Adrian,
Now
we're
you
going
can
home,
say somebody's
Adrian.
closer.
No, I mean, Caveman Rick says the fix was in on the whole bracket from the time of its inception. I mean, I can promise you, at least from, like, I don't think anyone here messed with it. I know that yesterday I didn't even read out the responses or, read out the percentages because it was like 52 to 49%. So something happened.
If the fix was in, I don't think a single one of us had either one of these movies in our final.
I had Happy Gilmore in the final four, but not the final.
I will tell you right now that if the fix was in, number one, remember the Titans would have
Would've been
already
in
won.
there.
Yeah.
And
Moneyball and Rookie would have done better than they did.
Rocky's not sniffing the Final Four.
No
me,
way.
So.
They'd have been done Sweet 16.
I just think what it boils down to is that you can have like the great dramatic movie and such a cool story and everything, but if you've got zingers in there, if you've got
it's
lines
watchable.
that and it's still current to this day in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? And I would say
I'm gonna have to tweet Adam Sandler and see how this goes.
So the Twins just traded Jorge Lopez to the Marlins.
Oh,
whoa!
That's a good acquisition for Miami.
Do you know what that almost means? They traded who? Pablo or no?
Jorge Lopez.
Okay, all right, never mind.
Good relief pitcher though for the Twins this year. For Dylan Floro going to
because
Minnesota.
that's how Luis Arraez. He was traded from the Twins to the Marlins for Pablo. I always want to say Sanchez, but it's
the one that's in Baltimore.
Lopez.
Now. Yeah, the one. Yeah,
he should still be with the Twins, I believe, unless they've traded him again.
I think that may have been a trade last year, Pablo Lopez. You know what? No, you're right.
Yeah, he's with the Twins. If your name is Pablo, I'm gonna call you Pablo Sanchez, man, because
Pablo Sandoval.
No. Pablo Sanchez from Backyard Baseball, little guy with the backward hat. Yeah, of course, man.
Pot belly.
Yeah, Drew. Looks like what are you looking up over there? You got some good.
No, I was just looking at my Facebook post from literally on the way over here. There are so many freaking idiots in this town.
Whoa, hey, not our listeners.
Yeah. Not our listeners. Because there were so many people driving from 30A all the way over to here that were just driving the literal speed limit in the left lane. I am passing them.
God forbid you follow the law with Operation Southern Shield going on.
I'll tell you what that was.
But if you're driving the speed limit, get in your own lane.
I'll tell you what that was. They were all voting on this Go to Goats final. All right, and they're keeping the bills paid. They're keeping us afloat. So, Drew, you say what you want. All right. Hey, if you're out there voting while you're driving, hit that follow button.
There you go. There you go, man.
Thank you for your support.
We appreciate it.
50,000 followers again.
So let's get to what we think that. We know what the final is now. Waterboy versus Happy Gilmore. Waterboy versus Happy Gilmore. So first, let's go with who would you vote? Who would you vote for? I don't think that we can change this.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, maybe we need to make the championship where it's just one vote and one vote only, but we've had this tournament running like this, so I think it needs to run that direction.
We're going back to 1 week, right?
Yeah.
That's for
sure.
sure.
Going back to 1 week.
This would have been a lot more fun last Wednesday.
Why do you say that?
Well, just because they were both at 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and more people. We did have more people in-house, Nick, last Wednesday. I think I'm going to vote Happy Gilmore, man. I just think that movie is way more quotable. It's really just, it's a success story. It's a good movie, from top to bottom. You know, Waterboy's got a lot of Adam Sandler-y stuff in it, and so does Happy Gilmore. But it's there's an actual premise to the movie besides just a dummy playing linebacker and running back. So I'll go Happy Gilmore.
Waterboy playing linebacker, not a dummy.
It's a redemption story.
Exactly.
It's a redemption story. My man literally was the water boy for the team. Gets left, sends him home, and then he becomes a great player and gets to play against them and shoves it to his coach.
I love it.
Water sucks. They get my vote. Let's go, Waterboy. SCLSU Mud Dogs.
You know what I say to that?
It's all in the hips, man. It's all in the hips. I'm gonna be putting my vote with Happy Gilmore as well. And I think Happy Gilmore is gonna have a sizable win, like a 65-35%.
SCLSU Mud Dogs, let's get it. Not just because it's based in Louisiana and I love Louisiana, but I'm a football guy. I love Happy Gilmore and all, but I'm a football guy and I got to stick with it.
Yeah. All right, so that'll do it for our conversation on the Go to Goat sports movies this year. Next year, we're going to have Caveman Rick and Kyle Albritton do the whole list for sports video games.
Build your brackets. Maybe put some work in yourselves and we'll help you.
No. I just messed around. But obviously, again, it's going to be a live brainstorming type thing. I think, with sports video games, it'll be a little bit easier not to leave certain ones out. But then again, at the same time, I don't know how anyone in this world can create a perfect list.
Yeah, there's no way that you make any kind of content like this, no matter what you're listing. Someone's always going to get butthurt because something's left out.
Well, and that's fine though. That's what it's. That's kind of what it's all about, though.
I think the big challenge that we're going to run into with video games is figuring out which Madden, figuring out which MLB The Show. It's going to be and that's where we're going to have to debate for the first couple of weeks, is figuring out how we're going to run this. Because when you go to the world of wrestling and video games, and Amanda's coming, so I'll kind of take my time before I get to this. So now that Amanda's here, she can hear my take on this. When you get to the world of wrestling video games, you've got WWE SmackDown versus Raw, but then you had the old school WCW games that were good, and so it's figuring out what games to put in, what versions of said games to put in. That's going to be the difficult part of this. If you missed it, it's all
video games,
all Adam Sandler final.
I didn't miss
You were here for that. Sorry.
I saw Ed Paramore. He's actually a visiting AGM from our Tampa Bay store.
Hey-o.
But I had to bring him in because he's a Saints fan and a Cincinnati Reds fan. I'm like, you're in good company.
There we go.
Wow, go Reds.
A little bit of best of both worlds here. I'm a Braves fan and stuff.
You're in good company here.
All right, so
Tampa Bay Lightning fan.
Let's start. There we go.
Let's go Bolts.
So, go Bolts. So now you got a little connection with all of us.
You can't call me a bandwagon because I said Reds in there.
Let's go with those Cincinnati Reds. Let's ask them about the Cincinnati Reds first. What's been your takeaway? Did you have these expectations for these Reds this year?
Absolutely not.
Who's the young guy right now that's standing out to you outside of Ellie, because Ellie's standing out to everyone.
He's about the only one I know right now. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really
Gotcha.
follow him that much. I've just been a Reds fan all my life.
So of your
Like, how'd it happen?
I'm from New Orleans originally, but there's no baseball down there.
Yeah,
so.
that's fair. Right.
So I will tell you that
I was around when Pete Rose was playing.
There you go.
To answer that question,
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I
you
agree.
do agree, okay.
Oh, absolutely.
To answer his question and give you somebody else to look out for, if you look at the Reds since Matt McClain was called up to Major League Baseball, the Reds are the best team in baseball. They have the most win. They have the most wins, and now as of yesterday, with the Braves losing, I don't know what.
Unless they're playing the Brewers.
Unless they're this is even with the 10 losses to the Brewers, that the Reds are the best team in baseball, and if the Braves lose today, we'll still have the highest win percentage in baseball as well. So, like Matt McClain, big guy to go take a look at. Starts at shortstop
Yeah,
most games.
keep an eye on him. Yeah.
So now, I have a fun question, only because he's also from Louisiana, New Orleans-ish area. Like, so you guys just were the Cincinnati Reds on TV a lot, or like how did that happen?
He was a Pete Rose fan.
Just a Pete Rose fan. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe he was a gambling
Big red
man.
machine. I was a gambler. Yeah.
I started cracking up just a minute ago whenever Kyle started saying a young player that he another young player on the Reds. I thought he was going to go India because he's now on a quote unquote on the trade block.
I got a surprising take on that. You probably won't believe. I'm pro.
Well, I never heard
India.
I never heard what you said about my my little flaunt to Josh Tucker about Arenado for India.
Oh.
I still have a Saints question.
He said Tucker said don't say that too much because our dumb GM, the Cardinals,
might actually do
it.
Yeah. Now that would be a crazy trade. Go ahead, Amanda.
I know Drew's take on this already, but are you excited to get Derek Carr? Or are you kind of what do you feel?
Yeah, I think a fresh start for him is going to be good for him. I think he's got a great offense, got a great offensive line to protect him. He didn't have that in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So with the talent around him, I think he can do well. I think he's got the talent.
Do you think the Saints are far and away the clear division winner?
As a fan, you have to say that. But I mean, if you look at it on paper, I think they're solid all the way around. The defenses.
Have you thought about Dennis Allen being the head coach, coming from with a defensive background, defensive coordinator, and all of that good stuff? Seemed at times.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have an offensive-minded head coach. But hopefully he can let the Carmichael do it this year.
Yeah.
And I don't think he let him do it much of it last year. But he didn't have a quarterback to coach.
Right.
Because I've got two Saints fans here, I'm going to go with it. How do you feel about, do you want Denver to almost do well since, your coach is there, or no?
For me, thankfully, they're in the AFC, so I can root for them if I wanted to.
Because real Saints fans are going to want Champagne to do well.
and they also have I think we traded a couple guys over there. Adam Troutman is over there, who was a tight end for us in previous years. If I'm not mistaken, they've also got a couple of our defensive ends from previous years and defensive linemen from previous years. But it's definitely a New Orleans West per se, whenever it comes down to it, because I'm pretty sure Sean Payton also took some of our previous coordinators, and from that standpoint, yes, I would like to see him do good, but I'm not going to actively root. My AFC team per se would be the Tennessee Titans, because I lived there for a little bit.
Because he's sucking up.
And he's trying to get on here tomorrow again.
I've always enjoyed watching the Titans play, even back to Eddie George and Steve McNair and Derek Mason and stuff like that. So I actually have an Eddie George jersey. So found it at a little consignment shop back in Tennessee. It was
it's
like
an Oilers
$5.
jersey, or is it a Titans?
Titans.
Nice.
Man, if it was an Oilers jersey, I love the Oilers.
Oh, they're back this year, baby. They are back this year. Got the red outline on the white numbers with the Columbia blue. It's going to be so good. What else do you have, Amanda?
Not much. Yeah.
Not much? All right, well, it is time for us to take a break. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking your text at 850-215-6290. We'll be right back.
Get in here.
ESPN Northwest Florida and Barbaritos on 23rd Street have teamed up. We're putting the focus on local high school athletes, teams, coaches, and supporters. Tune in weekdays at 5:40 for scores, stats, stories from right here on the Panhandle. The Barbaritos High School Spotlight. on ESPN Northwest Florida. And just like the locals, it moves fast. Don't miss it.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's your weather forecast on this Wednesday afternoon. The remainder of the day, mostly sunshine and 90 with a gentle breeze coming out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies at a low near 80. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high around 89. For Friday, mostly sunshine most of the day except possible thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening and a high of 90. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Barbaritos lets you say yes to fresh. If you don't know what to eat or where to get it, well, fret no more. Barbaritos is here to help with its healthy menu, offering 7 meals with less than 500 calories. Barbaritos has lots of healthy options made with farm fresh food. Your health and your family's health matters to us. Come eat healthy at Barbaritos, 23rd Street in the Stanford Station Shopping Center near Academy Sports. Barbaritos, food, community, people.
ESPN Northwest Florida is on location at Dave & Buster's.
And we are back. It's the Afternoon Underdogs right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes, along with Kyle Wright, Drew Gorman, and wait, what's our other
Ed,
assistant?
Yep,
Ed,
another,
right?
Yep, Ed Paramore.
Ed, that's right. Just making sure I didn't call you by the wrong name. We also have assistant. Huh?
Yeah, like the band.
That's a dope last name to have.
Be helpful if your mic was on.
I'm in the business of misery too.
He might be in the business of misery.
I do not have a body like an hourglass.
I think he's like, what do you guys?
No,
what do you guys talking about? Oh, you know
Paramore? Yeah, dude.
There you go.
Yeah, how do you not know Paramore?
I have kids your age.
Let's go.
They had a concert here like 5 years ago or so, didn't they?
Paramore was here and I didn't go.
I didn't
believe
go.
so.
Like, I would have gone to it if I.
Yeah,
I don't think that's accurate.
Fact check me.
I went to high school with Haley Williams' little sister.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
I never meant to brag, dude. But I got him where I
got to get in the conversation somehow.
Dude, I am a huge Paramore fan.
2008.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah,
5
5
years
years
before
ago.
Wayne.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, a little more than 5 years
2008
ago.
is not 5 years ago. I was just like, wait a minute.
That's 15 years ago.
Half a score in 5 years ago.
It feels like 5. Does it feel like 5? I'll take that. It feels like 5 to me. So time flies when you're having fun.
You were like
Come
in
on.
high school.
My music taste
I was in high school, yes.
Yeah, like-
Yes.
15 years old, I definitely was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
For 15 years ago, I was 15, and
you were
my
not.
music
You were
taste.
15 in 2008. How old are you right now?
I'm 30, bro. 31. Jeez, I forgot last week.
So you were a junior in high school. Had to been.
Yeah, I just don't think my
was in
music taste
college. I don't like
matured
this
until after school.
Okay, I got you.
So Paramore became a late taste.
All right. Hey, so let's ask Ed. Out of the 2 movies that we have left, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, which do you think which movie do you consider to be the better movie? Waterboy, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore by far.
There we go. Oh, by far too.
Now, because
He's a smart
he's
guy.
been in Tampa and he probably hasn't heard about this, if you had to pick your favorite sports movie of all time,
Yeah, all time.
what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
We'll give you a little time to think about that, because that is a bombshell that's just been dropped. That's a hard one, because we had a bracket of 64, and we had Remember the Time. I mean, we had all kind of great movies. We missed some older movies, no doubt about it. We can admit to that, but yeah, now it's whittled down now to Happy Gilmore and Waterboy. So it's an Adam Sandler takeover.
I'm trying to think of that movie with the basketball movie with God, what's his name?
Coach
Jackson?
Carter.
No, the Ohio basketball team years ago.
Ooh.
I feel like
Yeah, because I was thinking maybe Hoosiers or something like that.
that's it.
Oh, so the Indiana basketball. Yeah. Nice.
but they're all the same.
That's a good movie. That's a good.
They're all the same.
Would you believe me if I told you that was a first-round exit from our thing? I think it just got a tough matchup out of the gate. But it was very surprisingly a first-round exit.
Yeah,
I forgot who they.
That was a great movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, I don't have the bracket in front of me, so it would take us a while to look back and find out who that was. But yeah, so New Orleans Saints fans, or New Orleans Saints fan, Ed is, and as well as Drew here. How about you guys bringing Jimmy Graham back? Like, were you guys as surprised as I was that was a reality and not like a one-day retirement type deal?
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be, a one-day retirement. He'd sign a contract and then retire. But
I thought it was a joke.
Drew is looking like he didn't even.
Year?
No. He played with the Bears in 1920. I mean, 1920.
1920. My boy's old, man.
My timeline right now is not looking good. 2020 and 2021.
It was what, 10 years? 10 years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years.
10 years ago.
It seemed like a dream because earlier in the day we also signed Trey Turner.
Yeah.
And for the people not knowing who Trey Turner is, he's a guard, played college ball at LSU, which is crazy because the Saints are notorious for not getting LSU players or close to home players. For whatever reason, we stay away from players that are from Louisiana or play at LSU. It's just absolutely insane. And the face that I was making a minute ago was Hoosiers lost to Gridiron Gang in the first round.
That's a tough one, though. That's a tough one.
Tough matchup. It's the Rock.
Yeah. Have you been able to watch any baseball at all this year, Ed? Like, just at least glancing at a game and seeing, like, have you noticed the pitch clock and all of that good stuff? Do you think?
I went to a couple of spring
training
games while I was in Tampa.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's awesome for the game.
Let me ask you this then: as a Dave & Buster's assistant general manager, right?
Yeah.
But you're down there at the.
He's just hanging out.
Yeah, right. But you're down there in Tampa. What would you say the reasoning is why the Tampa Bay Rays there in St. Pete are not getting the attendance that they should be getting? Do you have a theory?
The location of the stadium.
Yeah.
And the actual stadium itself.
Yeah.
It's a whole stadium. It's across the bay from Tampa. I mean, the same people go there, but it's just not a big draw.
Yes.
They need to have an open top stadium with a retractable lid.
Gotcha.
So they can open it on beautiful days. People love that.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't want to be inside watching baseball.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
Baseball feels like an outdoors thing.
Yeah.
That does feel. What's crazy about that is because baseball would probably work better if everybody played in a dome, but you would rather be at a baseball game outside.
Yeah.
Whereas football, I have a weird belief that I think everybody should have to play in a dome.
I like outside football, outdoors.
Just
give me the
rain
weather.
Game last year should prove that to everybody. Those
Yes.
pictures of the Bears in the rain game, you're welcome.
Yeah, what an exciting 9-6 finish that was.
Yeah, but
weather doesn't affect football, right?
Oh yeah.
Who said that? Who said
Miles.
that?
Miles
Lashley. What an awful.
Used to be here.
Miles?
No, Miles used
we-
to work with ESPN Northwest Florida, and he had this terrible idea that weather did not affect football. I'm like, listen,
Now,
of the North, it does.
what I will say, though, is that he did give some compelling information one time, and we know how you can skew numbers to support your argument, but he did come up with some numbers that he's not necessarily saying that it doesn't affect football, but when the rain is falling or whatever, the guys are able, or on their completion percentage is very close to the same. They're still throwing about the same amount of yards. And we look at that, who was it? Was it the Bears and the Niners?
The funometer. The
Bear-
funometer is
yeah.
affected
No,
by
I'm with you. Snow, what are they going to do?
Love
Not play a
snowing.
game because of snow?
love when
Come
they have
on.
people out there shoveling the lines. That's
Yes, it is, man. It is. And these days you got your heated fields and all of that good stuff, which is great, but I definitely think
not Lambeau. It's still a metal bench.
they got a heated field in Lambeau, though.
Nope.
The bottom of the field's got to be. I'm going to check
Go
this
ahead.
out on you. I'm pretty sure.
I was going to say, it's the frozen
The
tundra, and when
independent
they
fact
redid
checkers
the
are coming
grass, I have a piece of the frozen tundra in my freezer at home. My dad does because he made us wait in line for it.
Wow.
It was great.
That's That's
the piece
cool.
of Lambeau Field, though. Like, how can you?
Back in 2012, Packers frozen tundra mystique melts with turf heating field.
Well, they
So, so it's been, I mean, just 5 years ago, but no, I'm just messing with you. I mean, that is a fact, though. They do have the
It is a fact. They just don't turn it on. No.
Yeah, they just don't turn it on.
You're right. I mean, that could very well be. I mean, yeah.
I do find it ironic that I did go to the Packers-Jets game last year. That was the only game, because I went home and here we are with the Jets.
So how is that with you being a Saints fan in Tampa, and your Saints are playing the Buccaneers twice a year? Do you try to get there to Raymond James as often as you can?
I've been every year since we've been there except last year.
Nice. Who did you want the quarterback to be last year? Between, like, let's say Jameis Winston was fully healthy and then Andy Dalton. Or Taysom Hill. Like, did you? How do you feel about? You wanted Taysom Hill to be the quarterback? Really?
What's up, Eric?
Okay. Hey, there you go, man. I'm loving it. That's
Say what you want.
great
Taysom
stuff
Hill
as well.
was the sneakiest fantasy pickup last year because you got all the time.
Yeah, he got you like 18 every 4 games or so.
It was great because you got like anytime you did something quarterback wise, I got all the tight end points.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
It was good.
Yeah, it is sneaky, and then you can put him in that. It's almost like having a super flex.
Yep.
But it's just Taysom Hill. Yeah, that's smart. I like that.
but
though.
What do you got to say about Taysom Hill?
The scary thing about it was the weeks where he's not playing, where he's not doing as much on the offensive side of the ball. You just got a dud, and who else? You got a tight end sitting on the bench. I love Taysom Hill. Don't get me wrong.
Like,
I love him as a football player, but I don't love him as a quarterback.
Oh, I agree with that. I think that he
like
brings
the duo quarterback situation and for the Saints. I was surprised more teams didn't take on to it because I loved it. So your quarterback has a certain strength, but I have a backup quarterback essentially with a totally different strength. It would be so hard to defend that when they're constantly switching him in and out. I think it's great.
I think it's great for Taysom Hill to have a package installed into the offense, but I don't think
it's a full-time.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously,
compared to the other two guys,
I guess, like,
what are you going to do? I don't think
He's
either
a
one.
ginger. He likes Dalton.
I would rather Winston.
Soulless.
I would rather Winston over all three of them.
He can't even see.
It's crazy that Winston and Mariota are still kind of getting that, like, they still need, like, a shot. And I would say Winston maybe even a little bit more so, or at least getting the hype around them. But, yeah.
That's what comes with being a first-round pick, because Baker Mayfield's the same way.
Yeah, that one's even more wild,
I would say, though, like,
size-wise,
Mariota's gotten other opportunities, and Baker's been given multiple opportunities. I don't feel like Jameis has been given that same opportunity because he was actually having a good year before his injury, got hurt, and has not been able to start a game since.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like, and obviously Jameis is the one re-signing with New Orleans. So it's really his own fault if you think about it at the end of the day. And he re-signed after the Derek Carr acquisition. So, again, his own fault. But I just feel like he hasn't really still, to this day, obviously a little bit of bias here as an FSU fan, but even as like a football fan in general, I don't think it's fair to put Jameis in the same category as Mariota and Baker.
And Winston had a good year. He started the year good when the last time Sean Payton was there. Started the year, was on pace for, if I'm not mistaken, like 30 touchdowns and single-digit interceptions. Single-digit interceptions. And then he got injured and hasn't had a chance to get back into that role. And then even whenever he did play in some games, he had Pete Carmichael, Dennis Allen as his head coach, and Pete Carmichael, like Ed said, Pete Carmichael was never really given the keys to the offense.
Yeah, which is wild when Dennis Allen is the head coach. Though, it's like
you would try to let Carmichael do it.
Yeah, like relinquish some freedom to your offensive coordinator because why else is he your offensive coordinator?
What is his job?
And you specialize in defense, and the Saints have a good defense, so like, why don't you focus on that and let's bring the offense up to par with them. And then Derek Carr, hey, look, Mariota got another job after being the backup behind Derek Carr in Vegas. So, hey, see Jameis, even though their skill sets are a little bit different, see Jameis Winston behind Derek Carr this year, and who knows what could happen for the future of him. But we're also continuously getting these rookie quarterbacks in, and they're getting more familiar with the way that this NFL game is played. Or actually, the NFL game is now kind of closer to the college football game, so they're kind of coming into the league and being a little bit more comfortable. I don't know. I've always liked Jameis Winston, even when he was over there at Florida State, just because he's a character, and I think that that's fun. But at the end of the day, these NFL teams don't have, it's not about the character that they are, but how many games that they can win for them. So that is that. What's the win-loss looking like for the over-under right now for win-losses for the New Orleans Saints?
I think the over-under's
7.5,
like 7.5, 8, somewhere around there.
The over.
What would you take, Ed? Over on that?
Yeah.
All right. So, what? All right.
7.5 is that? That's a.
It's kind of. I'm not looking at anything. I'm just kind of guessing.
Yeah, I don't
at what it would
their
be.
schedule much either. But I mean, you got to think Kamara is going to be going probably 4 or 6 games.
Yeah.
And if Michael Thomas doesn't stay healthy, there's your 2 best offensive players.
Right.
What's going to happen then? Then you're looking more like 6 or 7.
Who is
Jimmy Graham, baby?
Yeah, Jimmy. Foster Moreau for Comeback Player of the Year, possibly.
I love that.
That could be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Which
is another LSU guy. It's uncanny how many guys that we're coming back and getting.
I didn't go to LSU. I went to a little small school about an hour away, but I became an LSU fan just because.
Northwestern?
Southwestern.
Nice.
Just University of Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're an LSU fan, right?
Yes.
Do you think that they can go back to back and win the West this year?
It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Saban's going to have a team again. So it'll be tough, but that quarterback's pretty good if he stays healthy.
I always ask Drew, and of course he's pretty open about it. Does that mean you got a soft spot for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense though.
Burrow and Chase, how do you deny that?
Yeah. Maybe we can get the Cincinnati Bengals to continuously draft LSU players the way that the Eagles are drafting Georgia players, and we can just have like a AFC NFC rivalry created. I know, me neither. It's time for us to take a break, though. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick time out. When we return, it'll be time for hour number 2. Might even play a little Would You Rather.
ESPN Northwest Florida is on location at Dave & Buster's. The Afternoon Underdogs are broadcasting live at Dave & Buster's Pier Park with half-price cocktails, half-price games, free Dave & Buster's game cards, and choice swag from ESPN Northwest Florida. Join David, Kyle, Amanda, Drew, and a cast of sports fanatics every Wednesday from 4 to 6 with fun and prizes at Dave & Buster's Pier Park with ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Clear tonight with a wind around 2 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest and a low of 80. Tomorrow morning, look for mostly sunshine with a temperature near 89. In the afternoon and evening, a high around 89 and a possibility of thunderstorms and some sun. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control. They take pride in caring for their customers' property by providing lawn and whole house pest control. Whether you have roaches or any other unwanted bugs in your home, Turf Pro has you covered. Or if your lawn needs weed control, fertilize, insect control, Turf Pro has you covered by providing custom treatments to meet your property's needs. No property is the same, so why should it be treated that way? Turf Pro, where the blue and yellow trucks make your lawn green. Call 850-890-5820.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
And the Braves are back in front. WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida.
As the Atlanta Braves continue to battle through the National League, they've got all of baseball on notice that they're ready to make another run.
2 on, 2 out, the pitch. Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzie. Ball game.
Tonight, it's another huge interleague matchup from historic Fenway Park in Boston as Austin Riley and the Braves face off with the Red Sox.
Coverage starts tonight at 6. First pitch at 6:10. On your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida is on location at Dave & Buster's.
And we're back. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida, and this is our number 2. Drew, I guess while it's just me and you right now, I'm going to look up some over-unders. I would like to find more than just the wins, but some statistics as well right now for some players and whatnot, some prop bets for their season. So, and then ask you, and not ask you if they'll do it, but I wish our whole cast was right here so that I could be like, all right, what is Saquon Barkley's? Let's say that. What is Saquon Barkley's? They were doing this on the Dan Patrick Show today. What is Saquon Barkley's over under for rushing yards? So I know I don't have it up in front of me right now, but
so you're saying you want me to guess what it's going to be, and then it's going to pull up. Ooh.
So let's go with what is the line for? What do you think the line is for Lamar Jackson? Passing yards.
Passing yards?
Yeah.
I'm going to say...
How many yards do you think it would be with the hook?
4,250.
All right. So what we'll do here is, since it's just me and you right now,
Higher
I'll just
or lower?
No, because we're not playing high-low here. And again, your next chance to play high-low is going to be 8:40 Monday morning on the Coach James Hale Show. But I'll give you the answer while they're not in here, and then I'll revisit some of these as well. The actual passing yards line for Lamar Jackson is 3,500.5. So now that you know the answer, is he going over or under 3,500.5? Now that you know the answer, would you go over or under that for Lamar Jackson in 2023?
If he's healthy, yes.
Yes.
I would say over that, because I like what the wide receivers they're putting around him. They're finally actually giving him something. So I like it.
For who do you think's behind? Patrick Mahomes has the highest right now with 4,800.5. Who do you think has the second most?
I'm gonna go with. I think they're gonna go Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers. He's on the list here, but he is actually not even in your top 3. Whoa. From what I'm looking at, he's pretty close. But yeah, so the next closest. Take another stab. This guy just he just got the bag.
Just got the bag. Oh, that takes 2 out of the question, because I was just thinking him. Let's see.
What are you doing? What do you calculate? Yeah, exactly. Justin Herbert. Like, come on, man. He's got 4,450.5 here. So 4,450.5 is the passing yards line for Justin Herbert to this point. So knowing that, would you say he's over or under 4,450.5?
Over with they are always putting up points.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They have, what was the stat that I saw? It said they put up all the points. They've scored the most points in Chargers history over the past 3 years, but they've also given up the most points in the past 3 years.
Oh man, it's like how the Lions started the season out last year, where they were scoring a ton of points, but teams were scoring a ton right back on them. So I think I'm actually going to go under 4,450.5 right now. And one of the main reasons is going to be when we see these guys get these contracts, that next year is not as good as the year that got them the contract. So I'm going to say he's going to be over 4,000, but he won't get to the 4,500 threshold there. Let's go to Justin Fields. What do you think the number is, first and foremost, here for Justin Fields?
I'm going to say somewhere around 3,200.
All right. You said 3,200?
3,200.
Oh, just a little bit high. For Justin Fields, it's actually 2,850.5. So a little low. I mean, it's only about 400 away from what you were saying. If we were calculating it the way I've been calculating years, then it was like 500.
I'm saying that's about 500. I'm just saying that seems a little low with the resurgence of you get Claypool, another offseason with Claypool.
Yeah.
Then you've also got a full offseason with DJ Moore. Like that's
and DJ Moore quite possibly made one of the better catches in the NFL last year with that heave ho from PJ Walker when he got out of the pocket, and Patrick Mahomes even said best throw of the year to this point. And you know, watching that, DJ Moore had to beat 2 defenders and then still grab that.
Yeah,
it was a great grab.
He's a good receiver. Like
I think he's a little underrated to an extent.
I've said that for years, and Kyle and Nick have been on my tail about it.
Well, I just say because normally, especially with wide receivers, right, what do we want out of them? We want fantasy value. That is what means the most. So if you're not living up to the fantasy expectations, it's going to be easy for us to be like, you ain't doing nothing for me. But I think he is going to be doing something for Justin Fields because the Bears have to attack with a run-first approach. If they're not doing that, Justin Fields is not going to have the escape ability, and he's not going to be able to be the player that Justin Fields is, because if they're going to rely on his arm, like everyone talked about Lamar Jackson being a running back, that guy had a pretty daggum good arm in college. I don't know if I was just out on that. Justin Fields, not that he had a good arm too as well, but I would say that like what that first season kind of showed from Justin Fields is the passing will come. The passing's going to be there eventually. You would hope so. But let's use the talent that God gave him to get to where he is today, and that's going to be his legs.
And kids nowadays, they're coaches nowadays at the little league level. Even for Ryan, he's probably putting not necessarily the best thrower at quarterback. He's putting the best athlete at quarterback to allow them to be able to go out and win ball games, whether that be with his arm and with his feet. If you're able to throw the ball halfway decent and you can scramble a little bit and give a different look to the team, the coach is going to put you there 9 times out of 10.
No doubt. 9 times out of 10. So we'll go back here to this list. Justin Fields, do you say over or under on that one?
I say over.
Over 28.50. I like that. All right, let's go do a running back here. Who do you think, before we get any deeper into this, who do you think has the highest over under? Their rushing yards line? Who do you think has the highest right now in the NFL?
Derrick Henry?
Oh, close, but there's someone above him.
Is it Josh Jacobs?
Nope, Josh Jacobs is sitting. I don't think that they've put Josh Jacobs on here yet because he hasn't signed his franchise tag. So yeah, he's actually not on here. All right, so it's going to be Browns running back Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb comes in with a rushing yards line of 1,225.5. So we'll go with that. Do you think over or under that for Nick Chubb? This one's tough for me. I'll start it off because Deshaun Watson, right, came in after week 11, so week 12, right? He takes over for Jacoby Brissett, and it seemed like Nick Chubb's production kind of just dropped off the wall. Now, the one thing that will help Nick Chubb is that there's not Kareem Hunt in the mix now. Or at least he's a free agent right now, so he's not in the mix. So I'm actually going to say over. I was a little apprehensive, but I think we're looking at 1,300 to 1,400 yards from Nick Chubb, provided he stays healthy for the 17-game set.
I'm going to say closer to 1,000. Maybe in the 1,200 range.
So a little under because I think this is where they actually let Deshaun Watson be Deshaun Watson. I think this is where he plays a bigger role in that offense. And kind of to your point, where when Deshaun came in, they were like, oh, well, we got to show the fans why we brought him in, why we paid him all this guaranteed money. So I think they're going to do that a little bit more this time around. And now that they've had a full offseason, him with Amari Cooper, that's a dangerous tandem right there. Whose rushing yards line is higher, Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry?
I think based off of last year, I want to say Derrick Henry, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor because he's got a more of a quarterback by committee per se.
Like any good teacher, you got to sneak in a trick question every now and again. It's actually tied 1,150 and a half to Derrick Henry's 1,150 and a half. And both of the over-under odds are stacked at minus 110 there. So it's even across the board for both of these guys. So now then, let's dive into Jonathan Taylor. Over or under 1,150 and a half yards?
I think he's over. Because they're gonna have to lean heavy on the on him to kind of bring along Anthony Richardson and or Gardner Minshew. There's no telling who's going to start right there, but at some point of the day they're going to end up wanting to go with Anthony Richardson and kind of give him the keys to the kingdom and just let him go at it. But what have we seen in recent years with rookie quarterbacks not named first year starters not named Patrick Mahomes? They've leaned heavy on a running game to kind of ease them in and let them get started. So I think he does have a bounce back year, and I think they're kind of refocused there. And I think it definitely benefits them being in the AFC South because, let's face it, I mean, they're bottom two out of the divisions.
Right, but if that Houston Texans run defense is better, that's going to be interesting as well, just because last year they were a laughing stock when it came to their rush defense. Their pass defense was a little bit better than that, so we'll see if D'Amico Ryans can step in and kind of change that, overhaul that rush defense there for him. I'm very intrigued by this one, 1,150 yards. So I guess let me ask a question before I answer. Let's say that he is going over or whatever, but last year he was almost like ADP 1 across the board, right? Like he was going number 1 overall in a lot of fantasy football leagues. So my question to you, Drew, is Jonathan Taylor like going to be one of those sleeper picks that you can get 7th, 8th, even later than that?
I don't know if he's going to be that late.
He's not going to be as popular as what he was last year, for sure. But do you think that people have forgotten about him at this point?
I don't necessarily think that they've forgotten. I think they're kind of hesitant because of that quarterback situation. Because you're sitting there and teams are going to Tennessee Titan a la-ish. They know that that's the literal threat. You have your running back, and that's about all. If you stack the box, you've basically stopped that team. So I think people are going to kind of shy away from him, and you might be able to get him towards the 5th, 6th, 7th round, but past the 7th, I don't think so.
850-215-6290. We're taking your text today, and we're also looking for some more fantasy footballers. We've got a pretty long list over here, and we're getting ready to open up that Coach James Hale Show League. So if you'd like to play some fantasy football, if you're available, August 26th at 11 a.m., we're going to be out here at Dave & Buster's doing our live draft, August 26th at 11 a.m. So just send in your name and your email to 850-215-6290. We've got about 7 minutes left in this segment. If y'all come on in, man, sit in front of a mic and we'll get you on here. We've got the gentleman with the fourquartersonline.com who held the media day here at Dave & Buster's, which was a great experience, man, and a lot of fun. So let's talk to these guys about this, because it was really cool that this is something that I think you guys had in Pensacola for the last 2 years, right? No, it wasn't in Pensacola. Okay, all right. So y'all are out of Tallahassee, right? Yes. Okay. 14 years. So what made y'all want to come this way down to Bay County?
You know what? One of the biggest things about this area is that we're both natives of North Florida, and I think the biggest thing is that we just kind of grew up playing teams, from around North Florida. Mm-hmm. You look at the schedule when it comes out. You got, especially in the Tallahassee area, you have about 10 big high schools in that area, and they all beat up on each other. Yeah. And then so does Bay County, and then so does Duval County. Yeah. So does Escambia County, and so you got this kind of cannibalistic effect in football. But man, my best memories were getting on the bus and coming down here to play a game. You look at the tradition at a lot of these schools, and it was just on display today. Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things. We really tried to get acclimated to this area several years ago. And I think, sometimes, high school football is just a relationship-based business. And so being able to keep up with a lot of these coaches and build great relationships with them, you know, we spend most of our time, the real work in this job is just, you know, talking with coaches.
Yeah.
And really understanding, you know, not only their philosophies, but, you know, how do you relate to kids? You know, how do you relate to parents? You know, how do you build, you know, a community? And that's really, you know, a testament to them. You know, there's no promotion of this game without guys like that. And so we're just happy to be a part of it. And now that we've got great relationships down here, happy to meet you guys and really understanding that there's guys that really care about this game and want to put the kids up front along with these great programs. So we're very happy to kind of be in this area now that things kind of lined up for us.
So after kind of listening to everybody all day, all the coaches and the players, this might be you can decide to not answer this question, but who's your pick for who's going to win out of this year?
I'm going to step out on a limb. I really like what Coach Brown is doing over at Bay.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Coach Floyd or the Mosley team. I know that they'll definitely let us know. But, you know, just understanding, you know, the kind of caliber of coach he is. He was recently at Walton, won there, was at Mosley before, won there. Our introduction to him was when he was at Jefferson County and won a state championship there. You know, just kind of brings the same consistency everywhere he's gone. Kids definitely gravitate to him. We look for them to be kind of a favorite coming out of this area. And then, of course, there are some smaller 1A schools that we really like, and that was really too hard to pick.
Dude, I can only imagine all the prep that you have to put into the questions and stuff, because you're like coming up with these questions. You're like, all right, he might spend like 30 seconds on that, and then you know how it is. People get a little shy around the microphones, and then all of a sudden it's like the one-word answers and everything. So, but one of the things that's so cool to me is looking at those kids after they're done or whatever, and it's kind of like a relief, and it's like, wow, that is so cool that I just did that. You know what I mean? And I love the whole setup that you guys had, because it made it feel official for these youngins, you know, and that's the coolest thing. So for you guys, do you think, like, obviously you're doing this for the programs in general, but is it more geared towards the kids, or would you guys do it without the kids and just bring the coaches along as well?
I think it's just for the kids. I coached for about 30 years, and something like this would have been great at the time I was doing, because the kids got a chance to show what they could do, show what they think, instead of just some guys on the field. And I thought the kids enjoyed it today.
Yeah.
It's the first time I came down, the kids were excited.
Yeah.
In Tallahassee, we've been doing it for a long time, so they kind of used to it. But each year, the next kid want to say, well, I want to be on that stage. And we try to help them along, because the first year, it was some kids up there, they really bombed. I felt bad for them. But now the kids know I got to get up there, I got to talk. The press is going to ask me questions. And, you know, and they're ready for it. It's not nothing new to them anymore.
And a lot of these guys are going to be moving on to that next level of football, because I don't care what level of collegiate football you're playing. If you're playing college football, if you're playing any type of college athletics, you did it, man. Yeah. You made it, and I love that. And so they're going to have to be dealing with these situations as well, like in the future, dealing with the media and stuff like that. So I think it's so awesome what you guys have been able to do. And so y'all do one in Tallahassee as well, right?
Yeah,
that was very interesting, because yesterday we knew we had two events back to back. And we've kind of, you know, the past month or so, we've been on the phone daily, twice, 2-3 times daily, just kind of preparing for something like this. But I think the thing that I enjoy the most is just seeing the array of kids and their responses. You know, you have a few guys that are, you know, they're itching to say something on the microphone, you know, and you can tell they talk a lot, and they typically inspire the kids that don't speak, you know, as much. And the thing that's so wild about it is that we try to creep up on same kids in these practices, and it's night and day difference. You know, you've seen a lot of guys that, you know, the red light comes on, or, you know, the thing is flashing on the camera, and they just kind of like shut down. But man, you know, a big shout out to the coaches for preparing these guys, letting them know about what they were going to expect when they walked in, and just having an air of humility and confidence at the same time. I saw a lot of that in a lot of the programs, you know, from Graceville to Rutherford and quite a few other programs in between. And I think that's just, really just about being able to say, okay, it's not just one facet of the game that you need to focus on. You represent the school, you represent your community. And a lot of times, so much is, just flash and flare on Instagram and on Twitter and social media. But to see kind of up close these guys and really understanding that, it's just a sense of realness about it. And I think that's what makes this part of the game so special and separated from college and pro football. But, we're so, I think for us, I think it's just been kind of a labor of love and really wanting to get into this area. It's such a rich tradition here of football and watching the restoration of really just after, 2 major hurricanes and watching how that just kind of decimates the community in terms of being able to raise money and drum up support. And now I'm fired up. I look at it now and I'm more so like, the rivalries are coming back. The ability to be able to go head to head against some really big time opponents is coming back, and I know that's going to bring the fans out to every game at Tommy Oliver and a host of other stadiums around here.
Yeah, and with you guys doing this in Tallahassee, you're doing it here in Bay County, and these teams are already playing each other as it is. So
Absolutely.
Now you're almost like creating these, intensifying these rivalries a little bit, and I think that's just so awesome. Really grateful for what you guys we're doing today, what you have done for the last 14 years. And we didn't get y'all's names when you came on the air with us. So who do we got?
Coach Cofield, Johnny Cofield.
Coach Cofield, all right.
I'm Mark Adams, and I'm 1/2 of 4 quarters online.
Hey, there you go. So this is a deadly duo then.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing this for a while.
That's a lot of work, guys. That is a lot of work. And like you said, though, it's a labor of love.
Yeah. The journalism degree helps.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to go in journalism, but I'm a political science guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we've got to run to a break, though. Guys, feel free to just hang on the mics with us, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
That ball's going to be out of here.
America's team plays here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Goldberg Kia, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Stormore Portable Buildings, and Brock Pest Control.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Clear tonight with a wind around 2 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest and a low of 80. Tomorrow morning, look for mostly sunshine with a temperature near 89. In the afternoon and evening, a high around 89 and a possibility of thunderstorms and some sun. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Gulf Coast Aquarium is now Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet. They have a full line of live reptiles and reptile supplies, including the area's largest supplier of ZooMed products. ZooMed, a family-owned business with over 45 years of U.S.-based manufacturing. ZooMed is #1 in reptile products worldwide and is now available at Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet, 469 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
ESPN Northwest Florida is on location at Dave & Buster's.
You're back with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're live out here in Dave & Buster's in Pier Park. Don't forget, we've got the half price games all day Wednesday and happy hour running from 4 to 7 p.m. We've got some Sneeds Pirates football players with us. We've got Jaden and Jasir, right? Left guard, Jasir's a left guard. We've got Jaden, the defensive back. We've got 4 quarters online with us here, man. We're just having a blast out at Dave & Buster's. And it's, man, so what's it like being an offensive lineman? And do you feel like you get the credit that you deserve?
Most definitely. Every time my boy Jason Patterson on the news, he give us a shout out. You know?
Hey, he's on there quite a bit, 82, man. And then so Jaden, Do you play both sides of the ball, or just primarily, or only a defensive back?
I play both sides.
Both sides? And you prefer defensive side of the ball?
Yes, sir.
All right. You a ball hawk or hard hitter? What? Who's your NFL comparison?
Jalen.
Who's that?
Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, okay. Then who's your college teams? Who's your guys' college teams?
Florida State.
Florida State. So obviously that makes a lot of sense with Jalen Ramsey. What about for you?
I'm a Gator.
Gator. Oh, so we got a little a little locker room divided right now. Is it a pretty even split in the locker room when it comes to y'all's college teams? Y'all get into all of that? No. A lot of Florida State.
Yeah.
A lot of Florida State. So you're kind of like the lone man there. But so left guard, man. What made you want to be an offensive lineman?
I just wanted to help the team out, you know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be where the team needed.
Yes, sir. And then, so what grade you guys in?
Seniors.
Seniors, both seniors. So what is it going to take for you guys to go out with a bang? Like, what is the lasting mark that you want to leave with your fellow Sneeds Pirates?
We want to be disciplined, have fun on the field, and just go out and give everything we got every game.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Who instilled the love of the game, you think, in you guys? Like, where did you, when you started playing football or whatever, and then you just fell in love with it? Was it an NFL player? Was it your dad? You know what I mean? Something? Anything like that? NFL player?
I think it was Rick Ball with my brother right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all are brothers?
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So would y'all say y'all are the leaders?
No.
I feel like I'm a leader of the
Okay, there you go, leader of the defense.
I feel like that's a rule at Sneeds. You got to play football. I think you're born. You get. You have a bottle and somebody puts a football in.
You either play football or volleyball. That's the only thing you need.
Hey, that's true.
What's it, like 11 in a row or something for Sneeds volleyball?
Yeah, it was like 9.
9?
Yeah, Divine 9.
Who's the young lady at Florida State that came out of Sneeds recently?
Softball.
Yeah.
Can't Field.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's like a. She played volleyball though.
Yeah.
She has a huge, tremendous amount of success on the softball field, but she played volleyball, which I think is like, that's kind of wild to me. Especially hearing so many of these guys talking about playing multiple sports. So.
When you were in high school, did you play multiple sports?
I did.
So, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think do you think they should be playing multiple sports, or do you think it should be focused on a certain sport by you get to a certain time?
I am against specialization, and that's because I'm a parent, and I see how much the registration fees are playing these other sports. My goodness, it's like you invest in one sport, and then they want you to turn around, and I'm like, no, I'm not chasing my kid all over, for AAU basketball, and that's the only thing he's doing. Like, we're gonna spread that money around. You don't have to be. My partner said there's nothing wrong with being an amazing high school athlete, and then you can take that talent and turn it into something else in transition. So I definitely think it shows you how to compete differently. Mentally, you create a different kind of level of toughness because you're understanding how to develop your body and your mind. I always said baseball is cool because it's the only game where the defense has the ball.
Yeah.
You take some of that fundamental and and we've seen athletes come through. We've seen tennis players and guys that play these obscure sports, and they just so happen to be really good offensive linemen or really good defensive backs and really good running backs. So I think it definitely aids the student athlete nowadays to be able to play multiple sports. But I do wonder what the landscape looks like because everything is specialized. And as we all know, football is year round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you think on that?
When I was coaching, a lot of coaches like two-sport athletes.
Yeah.
They didn't want you to just specialize in one. And when they recruit, they be looking for those guys because those guys could handle toughness. They doing different things. I found that a basketball player playing football improves his basketball.
You're right.
Because usually the guys that play basketball are very agile. They can do things. They're probably more athletic than some of the football players.
Somewhere in his garage, he has Allen Iverson's high school football highlight tapes. Allen Iverson was the best quarterback you've never seen.
Right, I've seen a little bit on YouTube.
Go on YouTube and Allen Iverson play football. It's insane. And I think Chipper Jones was like a really good wide receiver. Tracy McGrady was he was Randy Johnson on the baseball diamond. You see all these guys come through and they're playing different sports, and then they end up being famous in a different one.
And I agree 1,000% with you guys because it's always seemed like the more that you play, the more that you can take from these other sports and then go into the specific sport that you want to become professional or go to the collegiate level and all that good stuff. But when you just focus on one, a lot of the times we see these youngins get burnt out. From all.
Well, when I was coaching, I had a couple of kids play basketball. One of them, was on the AAU team that traveled all over the country. And I talked them into playing football. And they end up getting football scholarships instead of basketball.
So you kind of inspired that love for them.
I mean, there are more roster spots in football than any other sport, so I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I even got guys out of the band. One of the best band guys talked to him, went behind the band director's back, talked him into playing football. He ended up signing a scholarship, play linebacker in college.
Was this during like a halftime performance too? Like right after the band gets off the field, like go back there. I'm gonna need this one.
Kid, do not come down here anymore. Yeah. And I'm like, I think I got 5 guys out of the band.
5 guys out of the band.
How many? We had a small school. Yeah. So you know. Everybody shares people to play, do different things.
How do y'all got any guys who play on the football team and are in the band at the same time?
Yeah, my boy Porter Mayhem just left the band just to come join us.
Hey, there you go then. So hey, that's a perfect
some truth
story.
To it.
Right.
We covered a game one time at Liberty County. It was homecoming. Kid ran for I think 100 and some odd yards in the first half, and then we looked around. We were sitting there taking a break, and he was on the 50-yard line with the full drum kit on,
and
was playing, and I think he was in a homecoming court too. So it was crazy.
Usually the football, I don't know about coach. I don't want to start.
Yeah,
but some of the football players are in the homecoming court. You know, you want to do good. You better be winning if you're gonna be on the court. But I've seen that a long time. As a coach, I wasn't too crazy about it because you want their full attention.
Yeah.
You don't want to worry about because they spend the whole week worrying about homecoming.
Yeah. That is a tough line to walk as a high school coach too, man. I can only imagine that one, Coach. What about you guys? Y'all play multiple sports, or is it just football only for y'all?
I play football, basketball, and I run track also.
Oh, nice. Nice. What about for you?
No, I'm just football.
Just
only.
Football?
Yeah.
What's your favorite event when you're running track? What are you best at?
Probably 200 meters.
200 meters? What's your time?
Good answer.
I went from like a 28 because it was my first year last year. I went from like a 28 to like a 25, 4,
shaving 3-4 seconds off of that? That's pretty fast. What sports do you play?
I ran track, played baseball and football. Although I did not play football until my junior and senior year. Like before that, I was like strictly baseball. And my coach told me, he was like, Mark, it's not that you're not good. I just got guys better than you.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it was like, okay, I'll take that for what it is. And, I always felt like, just growing up, there was never any like license. You just went out and, if your friends were doing this, that's what you were going to do. And so everybody was like, hey, tryouts are tomorrow. Or, first practice is tomorrow. And all you have to do is just literally be there. And I feel like as long as that kind of environment is being fostered in schools, you'll see a lot more guys that just will take the lessons. It's not ever going to be about turning pro or being, quote unquote, the man. I think it's just more so about did you understand something new about your character? Did you compete? Did you give it 100%? What did you learn? How you were adapting, in life and using those same skills? Those 2 years playing football under Coach Cruz were like invaluable. Totally transformed who I thought I was as an athlete, and moreover, who I am as a person.
That's deep. that is no, seriously though, and it's great stuff as well. For you guys, what's been the best part of playing for Sneads? I mean, you're going into your senior year right here. This is the last one. What's been the best part of your football adventure?
The
brotherhood, like what happens in the locker room, the bonds that will never be broken throughout your entire lives now because of the blood, sweat, and tears that you guys have shed together. And that's a great answer. What about for you, Jasir?
I'll say the brotherhood too. We be at Blue Springs every Wednesday.
Hey, I was just there not too long ago. Yeah. We were camping out there at what's it? I think Three River State Park or something like that. Yeah, Three River State Park, and then spent a little time there at
Blue Springs. It was good stuff.
I had to save my brother here from drowning.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. He can't swim. I got to teach him.
You got to
teach him to be a good big brother.
Who's the most athletic on the team? Do we need to take Jason out of there?
No, it's not Jason.
Okay.
It's Aaron Williams. Aaron
Williams?
Aaron,
raise your hand.
He's not here. He ain't here. He's a solid 6 foot, 280.
And more athletic than anyone on the team.
More athletic than anybody on the team. You can do it.
I can't tell if you're joking.
He can do everybody's job. I swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do y'all like? So I know you said you're a leader and everything, but who would you say the leader in the club and the locker room is?
In the locker room?
Yeah. Like as a player, not coach or anything like that.
All us childish. All us childish. I'm gonna tell you straight up, we all childish.
I feel like all of us take a part in being the leader in the locker room. I feel like all of us.
Yeah, and so it's a great team effort. Let me ask you this: I was a baseball player growing up, so superstition. Some baseball players have superstition, some don't believe. Do y'all have like a certain routine or anything? Like what you doing before the game?
Well, like to wear the yellow jersey.
Yeah,
warm up.
It's bad luck. We feel like they bad luck.
The yellow jerseys are bad luck. Coach, do you follow along with that, or is it just what it is?
Yes.
All right. What's your routine?
Before every game, like we would go out. We'll do offensive warm-ups, then we do defensive warm-ups. While we're doing defensive warm-ups and we're doing like back pedals and stuff, I go in the corner of the end zone and I pray and have a moment of silence with myself because I wouldn't be here without God.
That might be deeper than what my man over here is.
Is.
No doubt. Coach, what's some things that you've noticed that have just changed the game for the better over your years of coaching?
Like the concussion.
Oh, like the concussion protocol and stuff?
I remember when I played, you get dizzy, they gave you some smelling salts, wake up 5 minutes later, you're back out.
Right.
My last couple of years of coaching, they changed the rules, and they had concussion stuff, and we had a kid, had a concussion, it took about 2 or 3 weeks to come back, and I was like, man, I thought it was going to be a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best thing they ever done for the game, because knowing those kids having that injury and they getting able to come back, you don't want them to stay out there. Because back when we played, the helmets were not as good.
Right. And it wasn't a concussion, it was getting your bell rung.
They didn't believe. Coaches would just tell you, hey, you all right, quit pretending, quit faking.
Mm-hmm.
Put the smelling sauce and put you back in the game.
What about for you? What's something that you've noticed that's changed about the game, but you think it's changed for the better?
It's a double-edged sword, but I would say social media. I think it gives the coach a little bit more, of a handle on how to promote his program, how to be able to, showcase his kids, to be able to. I've seen some coaches do it really well. You and I both know Coach Spears. Yeah. He did an incredible job, even instituted a social media policy for his team and, wanted to, use it for the betterment. And I don't know, sometimes, it can definitely spin out of control. Mm-hmm. You definitely don't want that going left on you. But really looking at how, just as a tool, understanding that, there's just not a lot of resources, especially in some of the small towns. And now you feel like you have a voice. You have a, audience, and you can be able to, do incredible things to give, some athletes exposure. Definitely make connections with parents and understanding that for the kid, if used in the right measure, it can be an invaluable tool. You put your name and your bio in there, and you got college coaches that look at you.
For you guys, y'all are players, you're going into your senior year. How important is the stands being filled, or the crowd being? Obviously, it might not change the way that you're playing, but isn't it more fun when the crowd's lit?
Yeah, it's very important that we have our student section there.
Yeah, the student section.
Yeah, we ain't getting lit without them.
There you go. Then, I was wondering, like with you guys, have you noticed a drop off in attendance at some? And maybe it's different in Tallahassee, Bay County. I know that the hurricanes definitely did have an effect here in Panama City, Bay County, with maybe the lack of attendance. I still think that it's still plenty of people going, but I still see so much room. Like, come on, let's support these youngins.
People forget this is Florida. You go to other states. I actually live in Georgia. I see it's a different environment, but there's also nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I think just for smaller towns, you live in Florida. There's so much to do. Like it's just you want to go to the beach today. You want to drive 4 or 5 hours and go to this place, go to that place. There's another major city on either side of I-10. And I think one of the things that probably could be done to remedy the situation is I think that when you look at how, communities are built, it's just one of those things where you kind of center it around what happens on Friday night. And, Coach Thomas was over here talking about homecoming. That's got to be a major deal. And I think, local businesses really need to get behind their community schools and really just try to support that, to be able to say to parents that, it's not just a Friday night game and, I'll pick you up from the bus ramp or from the locker room, when the game is over, but more so come take part in this. Mm-hmm. You're not just cheering on your child, you're cheering on everybody else's child.
Right.
And then, there's nothing like, looking up in the stands and seeing your parents.
Yeah, right.
Seeing your aunties, your cousins, and all of these people that came to put, to root you on Friday. And I think that's the biggest thing that people need to understand. And, there should be kind of a thing where, put your phone down, on Fridays.
Leave it in the car.
Come on out to the game. And, for me, I think for both of us, our thing is you get out the car and you smell like that barbecue cooking and you smell them hot dogs. It's just like it does something to you.
Is that
nostalgia? You mix that in with the
Yeah.
fresh cut grass or whatever, and it's just like, it's a little bit nostalgia, but I think that's the thing. You got to have community involvement, and it doesn't matter if you're a rural school or urban school. You got to have your community, and they got to be at the game, and they got to be involved in the school. And I think kids definitely remember that, and they take it with them.
That is great stuff. We're out of time for this segment. Hey, Jaden, Jace here. Thank you guys so much for coming on with us, and for the guys from Four Quarters Online. Y'all go check out the website too, fourquartersonline.com. This is a great event, and next year, you guys are doing it again next year?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
We're on the hook now.
Hey, there we go then. So I think it's going to be even bigger and better than it was next year, if that's even possible. Because this was, how did y'all guys enjoy it? Did you love it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel important. It makes you feel special, don't it? And then it makes you feel like football's right around the corner, and it's time to, I guess you can't say knock people out anymore, though. That's not a good way. But hit them hard and hit them not low, but, not above the shoulders and not below the knees. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida and Barbaritos on 23rd Street have teamed up. We're putting the focus on local high school athletes, teams, coaches, and supporters. Tune in weekdays at 5:40 for scores, stats, stories from right here on the Panhandle. The Barbaritos High School Spotlight on ESPN Northwest Florida. And just like the locals, it moves fast. Don't miss it.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Clear tonight with a wind around 2 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest and a low of 80. Tomorrow morning, look for mostly sunshine with a temperature near 89. In the afternoon and evening, a high around 89 and a possibility of thunderstorms and some sun. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
As the Atlanta Braves continue to battle through the National League, they've got all of baseball on notice that they're ready to make another run.
2 on, 2 out, the pitch. Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzy. Ball game.
Tonight, it's another huge interleague matchup from historic Fenway Park in Boston as Austin Riley and the Braves face off with the Red Sox.
Coverage starts tonight at 6. First pitch at 6:10. On your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida is on location at Dave & Buster's.
And we're back. It's ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We got Coach Bill Thomas with us. He's the head coach of the Sneeds Pirates. And what's your name?
Aventosh.
What's that again? Aventosh? I can't. Hold on. I got to turn my headphones up a little bit more. Actually, let me just take it off. What? Tight? Okay, all right. What position you play?
Quarterback.
Quarterback? Oh, let's go, man. That's awesome, man. So how long have you been playing quarterback for?
Ever since I started playing football.
Yeah? Man, that's Coach Bill, you've been with Sneeds now for a while, because I always hear Coach Manley talking about you. I think, what's he call you, the king of 1A football? Something like that?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. What's the expectations for your men this year?
Our expectations are high.
Yeah.
They really are. They're high. We're not a secret. We returned a lot from last year's team, and we went 11-1 last year, and we're returning 8 starters on offense and 9 on defense. Where expectation level's pretty high.
Yeah, I like that. I like the smile to go along with it. Can I ask him who his favorite targets are and rank them 1 to 5, or would that be a little too problematic for the locker room? I'll let you handle that with the guys later. Y'all know I asked that question, though. So what is your favorite part? What's the favorite aspect of the quarterback position for you?
I like to get out there and throw the ball around, really manage the game. It's just something a special person has to do.
Yeah, no doubt. Would you say you're the leader as a quarterback? Leader of the offense?
Partly.
All right. How much easier does having a running back like you have over there make your job?
Oh, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, do y'all run a little option, or what type of offense do you like to run?
I mean, it's kind of 50-50, but yeah, we're a little run heavy. Having a running back like Jason, though, it really helps setting up the pass game and all. So
what's the balance life like for you when it comes to academics, when it comes to athletics and your family life? Like how do you balance all that? That's a lot to put on a young man's shoulders.
It's a lot to take in, it's a lot to do, but it just has to be done. You gotta find out how to do it, figure out how to do it. Stay successful in the classroom, on the field, home life.
What's your favorite subject? What class do you like? I look forward to going to this one.
Probably history.
History? That was probably one of my favorites growing up as well. Do you got a routine? We know Jaden has a great routine going into the end zone, a little meditation, a little prayer there right before the kickoff. What's your routine?
After we warm up and all, we get on the sideline. I like to get on knees, say a little prayer, maybe with a couple of teammates or something. But that's something I do every game.
Coach, I was asking them about, something that's changed in the game of football, that's changed it for the betterment. What would you say that is?
For the better?
Yeah, for the better.
I was listening to that a while ago, and I like the concussion protocol. I've seen some instances in the past where kids were allowed to play that probably shouldn't have. I like the equipment.
Yeah.
The equipment has changed, and it's just so much nicer. The helmets were so much safer. Just from head to toe, the equipment's so much better. Even the jerseys.
I was about to say, all the teams that I saw today had some sharp jerseys, some sharp threads to go along with that. Is there something, and if I'm not allowed to ask you, or don't answer this if it's a bad question, but what about for the worse? Is there something that's changed that's not been for the good of the game?
Okay, there's one probably that is good and bad. The good part, social media.
Yeah.
Recruiting. I remember when I first started in the 90s. When I had to get a kid, was trying to get him recruited, I was taking VCR tapes one at a time, repeating this game, and I would send those things out all over the country. Now those kids can put their highlights on Twitter, and they'll see more college coaches to see their highlights and get their name and call me from that than I could afford to mail out.
Yeah.
So that is a big positive. It's also a negative. I remember last year we had a little game. Things were a little chirpy before the game or during the game. And I said, what was going on with them? And evidently, social media. Some things were said ahead of time, and those kind of things. We should. I know they had a big thing with FAMU last week. They want coaches to control that. Let's be honest. How much are you going to be able to control that? Yeah. Every kid in the world has a phone, and you have to be with them 24 hours a day. We'll get on to them sometimes about using the phone late at night. But I don't know how they still function during the day. But
right, he had mentioned social media policies and stuff like that, and I think it's a great thing to institute or whatever. But how do you manage that? Yeah,
I don't know. How do you govern it, and how do you, we're going to we're going to talk about it in detail. I'm going to say make sure that they represent Sneads well, and we'll have some stipulations. We got something we call absolutes, character absolutes. If you break a character absolute, this is what what the payment is for.
You know what it is already before you even break the absolute.
And I think we have to add that into our absolutes. And we call them absolute because things you absolutely cannot do and win, but we do it for the way you play the game. Yeah. Offense, defense, the positions. But we also do it for character, and I think that's got to be added to our character absolutes because, and like I said, I don't know how else to hold it accountable, but so when it does become a problem, we're going to have to address it. Now, hopefully it won't be. Hopefully.
What's your favorite part about playing for Coach Thomas?
I like, what comes with playing football for him. The weight room year-round. Summertime, you got to get out there. You got to bust your butt.
That I don't know, who knows, watching some of his films like, golly, bro, is this even real right now? Did you Photoshop this? What's going on, So what is something for you? I know Coach doesn't want you looking past game one, but is there a team that Sneads has that you have circled on that schedule right now that you're not looking forward to, but it's like, that's going to be a good one?
Definitely Bluntstown.
Yeah.
That's the rivalry game, we all look forward to. And we actually get to play them in the regular season this year. I think it's third, fourth, fifth game.
So it's early on.
Yeah.
Early on. So. Yeah, that's great stuff, man. I'm so excited about the high school football season right now. Just right around the corner. What do you guys got? Probably August 18th or so. You have like a kickoff classic type game?
Yes, sir.
Who do y'all have in that, or is it multiple teams?
Mariana.
We're playing Mariana.
Okay.
The next door neighbor comes over to us this year.
Oh, there you go. So is that something like? What is the focus for you as a coach for those kickoff classic games?
To make sure we're ready for game one.
There you go.
That's the main focus. Now, play them somebody whose school's right next to you. That puts a little more emphasis on it because these kids, to them, we're looking, trying to make sure that, who should be in this position, who should be in that position, are they as good as we think, are we doing the little things right? But when it boils down to it, these kids are playing a football game, and they're playing against people they've been competing against their whole life. So it's going to be, it puts a little bit, it's not just looking to prepare for week one because it is playing guys right next door. So it puts a little more to it than that. But you need to practice playing an emotional game too. And I think that does help us get ready for the season when you're playing somebody that it's kind of a rival. It's kind of big crowd. It'd be a great crowd. It'd be packed out. So I think it helps you prepare.
How has the attendance been there in Sneads? Has it not dropped off at all?
We've been pretty good.
Yeah.
The last 6 years we've been pretty good. So that's and our town loves football. Our town loves football, and they come support all these kids have good parents and good family, and they come support. I do think we took a little bit of a hit during the COVID time. A lot of the older generation that had been coming to games for years and years and years, well, it's like, they got out of habit of coming to games for a little bit. That year, the year of COVID, the first year we played with it, we went to the Final Four. And I was looking up, and we had some better gates the year before. And here's one of the best football teams we've ever had here. And some of our gates weren't as good. And they got better as the year went on, of course. some of those people we lost during COVID, we don't, I think just like churches, a lot of people quit going to regular service and you get out of habit of doing it. And, but, slowly but surely we've gotten some back. But
let's say that the NCAA was able to, they work it out, whatever, they regulate, they put some rules and regulations around this NIL stuff. Would you be opposed to it trickling down to the high school level?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, how can they manage academics, athletics, all this stuff? And I know that it could be great for them and for their family and stuff, but it almost seems like it would make them lose focus on what's ahead of them, what the journey's all about.
Somewhere down the line, it's still got to be a game. Somewhere down the line, it's still got to be a game. And now, I understand it with a college level. I really do. I was for it before it ever came out because those kids got a scholarship. They're getting meals paid for. They're getting their school paid for, which is great. But the way they do it, they don't have the time to have a job. They don't have extra money coming in. They want to go to the convenience store. Their money's have to come from somewhere, either having to borrow the money or get it from a family member. If they want to take a young lady out on a date, they're so time consumed that is their job. And I understand it a little bit. I don't think it has to be extravagant. I think just a stipend would be fine. I think we're losing part of the game. High school level, what are we going to do at Sneads to compete with big cities?
Yeah, when you get
an NIL deal. Yeah, you can buy a high school state championship then.
And that just takes even buying the collegiate, which we know some of these things at the collegiate level has been happening way before all of the legality of it. But yeah, if you could just, pony up the bucks and walk away with the championship, then why even play the game at that point?
Yes, and I hope that high school football doesn't get to that.
Yeah.
And I hear the rumors of it. I hear the rumors in Georgia big time. And I hope it doesn't trickle down. I believe it will. I hope it doesn't before I retire.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it'll be as special as it is today.
Which, if you could go, are you looking to go to college to play football? Continue your career? Do you got any offers right now?
No, sir, not yet.
All right. Well, hey, like Coach was just saying, though, you can get on that social media and you can make it happen. Guys, we're out of time for today. Thank you guys so much for coming on and hanging out with us. Y'all brought a quarter of the football team with y'all, huh?
Yeah, we've got 60 kids on roster, but we got 16 seniors this year, so we've got.
Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool that you made it special for your seniors. I could only imagine if I was still in high school and they had something like this, and I'm walking in, and of course I'm gonna get a little, pressure, you know what I mean? Or feel the pressure, rather. Yeah. Get a little nervous, but I still think it's so cool. Thank you guys so much for giving us some of your time. We are out for today. Coach James Hill Show is going to be live at 7 in the morning, and we are out for today. Have a great afternoon, be safe, and buckle up.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Blasted Bay Point.
Lynn Haven Rob, it's time to play a little high-low.
I'm going to try 69.
You're going to try 69.
That is correct.
Oh, wow. Man, Lynn Haven, Rob.
Keep listening to win.
Outstanding. Thanks, guys.
The Blasted Bay Point on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Clear tonight with a wind around 2 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest and the low of 80. Tomorrow morning, look for mostly sunshine with a temperature near 89. In the afternoon and evening, a high around 89 and a possibility of thunderstorms and some sun. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Heavily in that rotation.
All right, it should be a really good pitching matchup. Bayo for the Red Sox, Strider for the Braves. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Braves need a win before we head out of town, head back home. And when we come back, I'll introduce you to the starting lineups for both teams. Braves and Red Sox coming up tonight on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
O'Reilly. Increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Right now, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for $10. See store for details. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Pre-Tection. Yep, Pre-Tection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day. Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have OFF, the #1 dermatologist recommended repellent brand. SC Johnson, a family company.
Atlanta Braves baseball on the Braves Radio Network is lit by the original Louisiana brand hot sauce, the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Bring the heat.
Young Cycle across from FedEx Mosley Drive in Lynn Haven has a fantastic selection of pre-owned Harleys at great prices. Great prices. Don't buy a Harley until you stop by Young Cycle. Young Cycle, a full service department is available too, offering motor trike conversions, parts and accessories. Nothing compares to Harley Davidson and the low prices on pre-owned Harleys at Young Cycle. Young Cycle, 112 Mosley Drive across from FedEx in Lynn Haven.
Game days are always better at Dave & Buster's. That's because more TV inches, more food and drinks, more space, and more fun make the game we all know and love more special. Nothing beats seeing your favorite team take the field on the 2 12-foot big screens or 26 75-inch TVs. Throw in the arcade experience and you've got a winning atmosphere that no other sports bar can deliver. Follow the fun at Dave & Buster's, Panama City Beach on Facebook and Instagram. Eat, drink, play, and watch sports at Dave & Buster's.
Living on the Gulf Coast, we have beautiful beaches, clear water, and amazing marine life. Want to bring a piece of the ocean into your home or office with an amazing aquarium? Gulf Coast Aquarium, the area's only certified platinum CCHEM dealer. Their staff are all certified CCHEM specialists. Gulf Coast Aquarium can install, design, maintain, and finance your own piece of the Gulf. Gulf Coast Aquarium, powered by CCHEM, with over 40 years as a U.S.-based manufacturer of quality aquarium products. Online at GulfCoastAquarium.com. Gulf Coast Aquarium, where it's more than just a tank.
Atlanta Braves play here.
On the track at the wall. That ball is gone!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
As we mentioned, just a perfect night here in Boston. Going to be a big crowd. Should be a good game. Braves and the Red Sox in the final game of this 2-game series. And time now for the starting lineups, starting with the invading Braves. For Atlanta, this is game number 100 of the season. 62 to go after tonight. Atlanta with a record of 64 wins and 35 losses, and currently in first place in the National League East. Brian Snitker leads it off tonight with his right fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr. Batting second for the Braves, second baseman Ozzie Albies, and hitting third third baseman Austin Riley. Batting cleanup, first baseman Matt Olson. Hitting fifth, catcher Sean Murphy. Batting sixth, designated hitter Marcell Ozuna. Batting seventh for the Braves, left fielder Eddie Rosario. Hitting eighth, shortstop Orlando Arcia. Batting ninth, center fielder Michael Harris. And on the mound for the Braves, Spencer Strider, the right-hander, 11-3 with a 3.78 ERA. And again, the major league leader in strikeouts this year. So again, for the Braves, it's Acuna, Albies, Riley, Olson, Murphy, Ozuna, Rosario, Arcia, Harris, and Strider on the mound. Now for Alex Core's Red Sox, they've won 3 straight. They're in 4th place in the American League East, 8 games off the pace set by Baltimore. And they enter the action tonight with a record of 54-47. They'll lead it off tonight with their left fielder, Jarren Duran. Batting second baseman Justin Turner. And hitting third, the guy who led the way offensively for the Sox last night, the DH Masataka Yoshida. He had 3 hits, including a home run last night. Batting cleanup, third baseman Rafael Devers. Hitting fifth, former Brave center fielder Adam Duvall. Batting sixth, right fielder Alex Verdugo. Hitting seventh, first baseman Tristan Casas. Batting eighth, catcher Connor Wong. Batting ninth, shortstop Yu Chang. And on the mound, the young right-hander Brian Bayo, 7-6 with a 3.60 ERA. So again for Boston, Duran, Turner, Yoshida, Devers, Duvall, Verdugo, Casas, Wong, Chang, and Bayo on the mound. Those are the lineups for both teams. When we come back, we'll have the first pitch. We'll have it all. Braves and Red Sox tonight on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
As of March 2022, Hyundai has won more total IIHS top safety awards than any other brand over the past 8 years, with optional front crash prevention and specific headlights. And here's another reason to feel safe. Every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty. It's your journey. Own every mile with Hyundai. Lease a Tucson for $299 a month, or get 0% APR for 36 months, or get $1,500 bonus cash. Hyundai is a proud partner of the Atlanta Braves. Offers end 7/31/23. Call 813-867-0006 for complete offer details.
Some choices are complicated, like do I get peanuts or popcorn? Thankfully, others are much simpler, like rooting for the Braves. And choosing Truist One checking. No overdraft fees. Lots of perks you can cheer for. And when your account balances grow, you get upgraded automatically. Oh, and with more than 130 Atlanta branches, you can add convenience to the list of perks too. Truist One checking. One simple choice. Branch count as of May 31st, 2023. Atlanta Metro Area. Truist Bank member FDIC.
Park, stay, and go golf at Omni Atlanta Hotel at CNN Center, located just 15 minutes from East Lake Golf Course when you visit omnihotels.com/Atlanta and click special offers.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent you.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they will get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored locally by Bill Berg Kia, reliable hydraulic solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Store More Portable Buildings, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
What a perfect perfect night here in Boston. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Beautiful evening. Final game of this series. Braves and the Red Sox in the second game of this series. And the Braves looking to pick up a win before they head back home for an off day tomorrow. And then we'll see the Brewers and the Angels on the upcoming homestand. As we mentioned, it's Spencer Strider versus Brian Bayo. So it should be a really good pitching matchup. And Nick, when it comes to the bats for the Braves, only one run last night. Doesn't get a whole lot easier tonight facing Bayo, but they got to find a way to make it happen this evening.
Yeah, they do. And when you look at kind of what the offense has done since the break, they've been relying on the home run ball a lot. I would love to see them kind of push the envelope a little bit with base running, steal some more bases when you get on, just put some pressure on the defense, because the home run ball obviously is going to be there, but we can't rely on that. And I'd love to see them just get off to a good start just from an overall offensive perspective today.
And they'd like to do to Bayo what the A's did against him the last time he was on the mound. In fact, gave up 3 home runs in that ball game. The 3 homers he allowed in his last start was as many as he had allowed in the previous 8 starts combined. So you want to see more of that, but like you said, turn up the heat in all facets of the game.
I agree. And when you look at Bayo, he's a tough cookie. He's got a really good fastball. He's 95 to 98 with it. His changeup's outstanding. We'll throw it to righties and lefties. We saw him back in, May?
Right.
And I thought that the sinker and four-seam were really good. The changeup was good to lefties. The slider is one of those pitches inconsistent for him. So you really have to dial in the fastball. He's going to throw a lot of them. Braves can hit a fastball. They know what to do with it. The question is, can Bayo make some mistakes up in the zone like he did against Oakland and let the Braves kind of lift that ball out of the ballpark? We know how this ball flies, especially to left field. So for Bayo, he has to keep the ball on the ground.
Well, it's something the Braves were able to do today that they could not yesterday given the rain. They took BP today. That's half the fun of playing here, is taking batting practice at Fenway Park. They were launching someone to Lansdowne Street.
Marcel was crushing balls.
Wasn't that awesome?
I love it. I looked up and I was talking to first base coach Kyle Hudson for the Red Sox, and I hear a clank. I look up and Marcel is just peppering that light pole in left field. So hopefully they do that during the ball game today.
Yeah, he went halfway up the light pole a few times. He hit some of those advertising signs that hang high above the green monster, and then he was putting them on Lansdowne Street altogether. So that was fun to see. The Red Sox have taken the field behind Brian Bayo, and here's the leather for Boston. Tristan Casas is at first base. Justin Turner, the second baseman. Yu Cheng, the shortstop, and Rafael Devers is the third baseman. In the outfield for the Red Sox, Jarren Duran is positioned in left. Adam Duvall in center field tonight. He was in right last night. They have Alex Verdugo in the lineup tonight, where he was not in the lineup last night. He's in right field. Connor Wong behind the plate for the second straight night. And Brian Bayo on the mound, spelled B-E-L-L-O. Brian Bayo out of Samana in the Dominican Republic, 24 years old. In fact, both of these pitchers are 24, so seeing some good young ones tonight. Bayo 6'1", 195, and tonight will be his 17th start of the season. 7 wins, 6 losses, a 3.60 ERA. And as we discussed, that last outing at Oakland, not a good one. 4 innings, 6 runs, 5 hits, and 3 of those were home runs. But here's the difference. He has 9 starts at home this year. He's allowed more than 3 earned runs at home just 1 time all year, and that was his very first home start all the way back in April. So in his 8 home starts since then, 4-3, nothing special there, but a 2.34 ERA. And Nick, he's allowed just 3 home runs in 46 home innings this year. So he's been very good when he puts on a white uniform.
He has, and his bread and butter is that sinker, keeping the ball on the ground. He's sitting, at ground ball rate of 56%, which is well above average. If he's getting the ball up in the zone, that's when you're going to see trouble. Acuna took it deep in May.
Yep.
That was a 3-1 fastball up in the zone. That's where you have to get him. Otherwise, he's going to keep the ball on the ground. And those numbers here at Fenway Park are absolutely incredible. This is a young kid that they've had to rely on heavily in this rotation. They've had some injuries, but this kid's going to be a good one.
Yeah, he has stepped up. He'll be facing Acuna, Albies, and Riley here in the top of the first inning. Ronald climbs into the right-hand batter's box. He looks to be ready. So is the right-hander Bayo. And now for the ball game. And the first pitch lined out to left field. It hangs up in the air for Jarren Duran to come in. Goes down to a knee to make the catch. And Ronald scalds one, but directly Duran for the first out of the ball game.
Okay with that barrel at 109 off the bat. Couldn't get it elevated enough to get it over the head of Duran, but a hard-hit ball nonetheless.
Ball game started at 7:13 Eastern, 6:13 Central. One down, and here's Ozzie Albies. Ozzie 0 for 4 in last night's ball game. Pitch from Bayo is in for a called strike, says home plate umpire Ryan Willis. First base umpire Mike Estabrook. Second base umpire Andy Fletcher. Third base umpire Eric Bacchus. Second base umpire Fletcher, the crew chief. 0-1, rolled foul over by the Red Sox dugout. And suddenly nothing in 2 on Ozzie. Braves in the traveling grays tonight. Gray uniform tops, gray pants, red lettering, red numerals outlined in navy. Atlanta across the chest on top of the red tomahawk. And for the second straight night, the Red Sox are wearing their City Connect uniforms, which are bright yellow tops, white pants with baby blue lettering and numerals, baby blue cap, and Boston across the chest of their yellow uniforms. 0-2 misses high. There's a reason they're wearing these as often as they are. I believe they're a little bit superstitious, Nick.
I think so. Since they debuted these unis.
There's a 1-2 on the way. That'll be fouled off.
That was back in April of 2021. They're 20-4. They've won the last 8 games they've worn them, and they're 5-0 in these unis this year. So if you're superstitious at all, you want to wear these unis.
That's why they are, even though you and I don't like them, which is the first time we've agreed on anything when it comes to uniforms this year. Check swing. They check in with Eric Bacchus down the third baseline. He spreads the wings, so Ozzie didn't go, and a 2-2 count.
You know, the one cool thing that I do like about all the City Connect unis is the guys get to customize some cleats that go with them. Bayo's got some Jordan 1s, some yellow and blue ones.
2-2, missed inside. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to wear those with the other uniform, would he?
No, but they're pretty cool. I'll give him that.
Yeah, both of these teams have very traditional and iconic uniforms. The Red Sox and the City Connects tonight. Here's the 3-2 on the way to Ozzie Albies. That'll be a tacked foul on the first base line. Prize Picks is the official daily fantasy sports partner of the Atlanta Braves. Make your live in-game picks now on the Prize Picks app or at prizepicks.com. 3-2 on Ozzie. Getting some good licks on Brian Bayo. 3-2 pitch on the way. That's it high in the air down the right field line. A trio of Red Sox in the neighborhood. His head's for the stands, and that becomes a souvenir 3 rows deep just beyond the target.
You know, in this at-bat, Ozzie has scooted on the plate a little bit more. He's all over the chalk line with that back foot, and Bayo, in his last start against Oakland, didn't use the glove side much with that sinker. I wonder if Ozzie tried to take that away from him, where that middle away looks more middle.
Bayo with a baby blue glove on his left hand, shaking off his catcher, Wong. Standing on the first base side of the rubber. Again, the 3-2 pitch to Ozzie. Check swing, he went for strike 3. And that time the cutter low and in, and Ozzie just could not keep his finger off the trigger.
Well, that's filthy, too. Doesn't throw that cutter much at all. You can almost eliminate it, but when you go that deep into an at-bat, sometimes guys start to throw something different. The cutters eat him up inside.
Yeah, the 5 pitches that he uses, that's his least used pitch. But brought it out to surprise Ozzie. There's a called strike on Austin Riley. Talking about Bayo, he beat the Braves in Atlanta on May the 10th, went 6 innings, giving up just 2 runs on 6 hits. 0-1 and a big bouncer to third, right up the left arm of Rafael Devers and off into left field. He had to make a split-second decision, Nick, to lay back, play the extra hop, or charge and try to scoop it, and he chose the latter, went right up his glove arm.
And on those ground balls, if they hit in front of the plate in that dirt area, you're supposed to charge. Well, Devers opens up and makes the wrong move initially. He had a drop step and then tried to come in, and then it just eats him up. Just a bad read.
Riley's aboard now for Matt Olson. Matt 1 for 3 last night. Matt with a big swing and a miss there to first pitch changeup. Just underway. No score here in the top of the first inning. Another big crowd tonight here at Fenway, and a perfect night here in Boston. There's the 0-1 on the way from the right-hander Bayo. Spins Matt out of the left-hand batter's box. They will say base hit for Austin Riley, so a 2-out single. On a strike on Matt Olson. Pitch on the way from Bayo. Missed inside, 2 balls and a strike. Last night, as you know, the Braves turned a triple play. Michael Harris, Matt Olson, and Austin Riley all involved in the triple play. And I spoke with each of the 3 of them today. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way to Matt Olson. Bayo, a long hold. Righty now brings it. That'll be fouled off. And I asked all 3 of them, have you ever been involved in a triple play before at any level? And all 3 said, that's the first time I have ever been involved in a triple play. Not shocking for Michael Harris, but maybe for Riley and Olson, you'd have figured somewhere along the way perhaps, even in Little League, but never, not for any of them.
I don't think I've ever been involved in a triple play with anybody on the field.
2-2 to Olson. Swung on, missed. Went down and in with a cutter. So of all the pitches that he has in his arsenal, that's the pitch that was the best for him, and it's the one that he uses the least. So the Braves get a base hit, but that's all. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We played a half an inning. Braves nothing, and the Red Sox coming up when we come back. Hey, this is Ben Ingram, and let me tell you about my friends at TimberTech. If you've ever had a wood deck, of course you've experienced rotting wood that's gone bad, wood that's splitting and warped. TimberTech will never do that. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand, and it's tough enough to handle anything you throw at it. This stuff needs virtually no maintenance. Just a bit of soap and water, and you're good to go. And with industry-leading warranties, you're protected season after season. Check out some free samples. Just go to TimberTech.com. See the TimberTech difference. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Hey, y'all, your summer is going to sizzle because the new Hot 7 scratchers are here. They are loaded with cash and are so hot you can roast a marshmallow over them. I ain't kidding. I mean, matches just light themselves just by looking at them. They might even give you a suntan. Go get you one to win some cool cash. Well, that was ironic.
Win up to $2,777,777. Play the new Hot 7's family of scratchers from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
The original Louisiana brand hot sauce is the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Great on burgers, eggs, even popcorn. The original Louisiana brand hot sauce, bring the heat.
No score into the bottom of the first inning here at Fenway Park. Great to have you with us on a Wednesday night alongside Nick Green and our producer-engineer Jonathan Chadwick. Ben Ingram here with you. It'll be Duran, Turner, and Yoshida coming up with the Red Sox, and here's the Atlanta Leather. Matt Olson at first base, Ozzie Albies at second, Orlando Arcia the shortstop, and Austin Riley is at third. In the outfield, left to right, Eddie Rosario, Michael Harris, and Ronald Acuna. Sean Murphy behind the plate, in harness with the man who's been playing the role of the Terminator this year, the right-hander Spencer Strider, leading the league, leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts. And he goes to work versus Jarren Duran, and his first pitch is a fastball away at 99 miles an hour, matching the number on the back of his gray uniform. A ball and no strikes on Jarren Duran. 1-0 from Strider, again outside with a fastball. Strider, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, the right-hander from Knoxville, Tennessee. And he is tied for the most wins in baseball with the 11. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Outside, missed with a heater, 3-0. Altogether, Spencer 11-3 with a 3.78 ERA. This is his 21st start of the year, and it's the first time he has ever been on the mound at Fenway Park. 3-0, touches the strike zone. Fastball 98, and a 3-1 count now on the left-handed hitting Jarren Duran. Mustachioed right-hander. Wind up in the 3-1. Fouled off into the seats. That's a screamer for a souvenir. Good catch made out there. And now a 3-2 count on Duran.
We've seen Spencer over the last 6 starts go at least 6 innings in each of those starts. He's punched out at least 10 in 4 of the last 5.
3-2. And there is strikeout number 1. Got him looking on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. What a comeback there after falling behind 3-0.
Maybe we'll take 10 more today. That'll make it 4 straight with 10+. Good fastball for Spencer. The last 2 starts, he gave up 9 earned runs. In those 2, he's been really dominant at times. The last start, the first 6 innings, absolutely incredible. Had 13 punch-outs in the first 6 innings.
Pitch on the way to Turner. Strike.
But he ended up in that 7th inning, just couldn't finishing. Just a couple of guys off, gave up a couple home runs. They kind of ruined the stat line on that start.
Right.
But, man, he looked outstanding.
0-1 to Turner. That's popped up on the infield. Matt Olson walks in right on the edge of the grass and makes the catch 2 down. Yeah, that last outing was on the 20th against the Diamondbacks. Altogether, his line, Nick, 6 innings, 4 runs, 4 hits, a walk and 13 Ks. Tied his season high for strikeouts, but it was a very hot day game. And not to make excuses, but I wonder if later in that game, as hot as it was, we saw Zach Gallen and Spencer Strider both feel the effects of the heat in that ball game.
I mean, I thought he was going towards 16, his career high in that start.
2 down for Masataka Yoshida, and he takes a called strike.
And then remember, 2 starts back against the White Sox. The first 2 innings, absolutely incredible. He had 5 punch-outs in the first 2, and then kind of lost it there, but...
Going to get a bunch of swing and miss when he's on the mound. There's a ball shot out to short, taken on a bounce by Arcia, whips it across to first, and down go the Sox 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. Off and running here at Fenway. We head to the top of the second, no score.
Young Cycle across from FedEx Mosley Drive in Lynn Haven has a fantastic selection of pre-owned Harleys at great prices. Great prices. Don't buy a Harley until you stop by Young Cycle. Young Cycle, a full service department is available too, offering motor trike conversions, parts, and accessories. Nothing compares to Harley-Davidson and the low prices on pre-owned Harleys at Young Cycle. Young Cycle, 112 Mosley Drive across from FedEx in Lynn Haven.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. The SUV family has movement that inspires, and we invite you to test drive the new 2023 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You can command the road in a sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Drive away today in a new 2023 Rio, Forte, K5, or Stinger, and discover the all-new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. Peace of mind you can trust at your local community dealer, Bill Bird Kia.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
Atlanta Braves.
A grand slam off the pole.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Scoreless game into the top of the second. Great to see so many Braves fans here at Fenway Park tonight. Bunch here last night. And I think they're all back tonight hoping for a Braves victory. It'll be Murphy, Ozuna, and Rosario here in the top of the second. And this is the Toyota Stolen Base Challenge inning. And should the Braves steal a base this inning, then Connie Newton in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee will win $50 in free marathon gas cards. And you can enter the Toyota Stolen Base Challenge by visiting Braves.com/Stolen Base Challenge.
Got one last night.
Sure did. Had a big winner last night. Almost $1,500 the winner took home last night. That was great to see. Sean Murphy drove in the only run in the ball game for the Braves last night. It's a comebacker up the middle, going hard to his right, backhanding Turner. Long throw, bounced it twice, and it's in time to get the catcher Murphy. Turner going towards left field with his momentum. That's a great play no matter who's going down the line, Nick.
No, that's a great play from Turner especially. He's had trouble going to his right this year. That's not been his strength, and this play was a really good play going to his right. He's done this for a long time. Just a good play from a long-time, really solid infielder.
And it's the first out here in the top of the second. And now here's the hero from batting practice today, Marcell Ozuna. There's a called strike.
had some good swings last night, too. Hit a couple balls really hard.
0-1 a little low. His rounds in the cage today worth the price of admission alone. All over the place, just crushing them over the monster. Has 18 home runs on the year. Went 1 for 4 in last night's game. That's low and outside. So a 2-1 count now as he laid off the changeup. Right-hander Brian Bayo rubs up a brand new baseball. Working from the first base side of the rubber, brings the 2-1. Hard hit ball directly to Devers, through his glove and down the left field line. And that's 2 that have gotten by Devers at the hot corner tonight. That looked like it went right through the webbing of the glove. It's a line drive about ear high on his glove hand side, and it leaked right through him. They say E5 on Devers.
It looked like he just never followed it to his glove. His eyes were more straight out, and the glove was by his ear, and just hit right off the thumb.
Braves will take it. Runner at first for Eddie Rosario. 1 down, no score. Eddie sends 1 foul. Rolls to the backstop, and Orlando Arcia walks over there to grab it. Mentioned that Brian Bayo is from the Dominican Republic. He was signed as an international free agent in 2017 when he was 18 years old. He's a little bit older than normal. A lot of those international free agents sign at 16 when they're eligible. He holds for a while. Pitch on the way to Rosario. Taken high. But you hear that, and Nick, he was certainly a late bloomer, and once he got into the Red Sox organization, he took off.
He's got a great arm. Easy 95, 97.
Ozuna, very modest lead at first base, held by Casas. 1-1 low and in. Almost hit Eddie in the back left foot, and a 2-1 count.
Try to go that cutter in again. So those lefties have to be aware of. You almost want to cut off the inside part of the plate with that sinker, not worry about that, because if you think about that sinker where it starts off the plate, runs back over, then you're vulnerable to that cutter in. Push him back out over the plate if you're a lefty.
2-1 and foul into the seats just beyond the Braves dugout. 2-2 now on Eddie Rosario, who had 1 base hit last night. Came through with a single in the second inning last night. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Braves. No runs, no hits, and an error for the Red Sox. Very early, top of the second. Here's the 2-2 to Eddie, and he pops one straight up, reaching towards foul ground. Coming over to give it a peek now, Connor Wong, and that lands in the first row on the other side of the screen. If there's no screen there, he reaches over and squeezes it, but the screen keeps Eddie alive.
And talking to Red Sox coaches, this team is an up and down team. Obviously, you know that, but when they are bad, that defense has been horrible, especially that infield defense. We've seen a couple misplays already by Devers.
That'll definitely do it. Mayo's 2-2. That'll be fouled off. Something that I think about anytime a team isn't going well is what I've heard Joe Simpson say multiple times. A team will never look worse than when they're not picking it on the infield.
Yep. They've got 49 errors by the infield. That's tops in Major League Baseball. Now, granted, Kike Hernandez was playing out of position at shortstop, and he has a lot of those.
Yes.
We just got traded yesterday.
Had a bunch of throwing errors. 2-2 fouled off. Sent the slider foul over there by the on-deck circle next to the Red Sox dugout. Is there a longer walk after a strikeout from the plate back to the dugout than here at this ballpark?
I don't think so. It's not a fun walk.
It's about a $4 Uber ride from the plate back
really
to the dugout.
If the Uber driver can get you there.
In this city, it's a roll of the dice. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bayo fires. Rosario with a bouncer out to second. Turner shuffles to second for 1. And over to first now for Chang for 2. So a 4-6-3 double play. And that ends the top of the second. No runs, no hits, 1 error, none left. We head to the bottom of the second inning. No score in Boston.
Is your apartment a real home run, or is it always throwing curveballs at you? I'm Cordy, the talking spokespug, here to pitch you every baseball pun I can think of. I'm also here to talk about the amazing live and play spaces at Cortland Apartments. These places really knock apartment living out of the park. Next level living? More like every level living, even the grandstand level. Get ready to set your life in full swing at any of our communities. Cortland, next level apartment living, and proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. Learn more at cortland.com.
The Atlanta Braves are taking no prisoners this season, and Mavis Tires and Brakes is right there with them. Mavis is a proud partner of the Braves with the largest selection of tires at affordable prices. And now you can score a very cool deal. When the Braves hit 2 or more home runs in a game, you can save $100 on 4 select tires the next day at any Mavis location in Georgia. Mavis Tires and Brakes and the Atlanta Braves, always bringing their A game. Visit mavis.com for details.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. It delivers super fast internet to power a house full of devices with ultra low lag. And it's only getting faster. Now, Houston won't like me saying this, but this is bigger than the moon landing. You didn't hear it from me, though.
Oh, we heard you, Neil.
You did?
Yeah, we hear everything, Neil.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed.
Atlanta Braves baseball on the Braves Radio Network is lit by the original Louisiana brand hot sauce, the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Bring the heat.
Into the bottom of the second here at Fenway Park in Boston. Alongside Nick Green, Ben Ingram here with you. Spencer Strider had a 1-2-3 first inning. Again, this is his 21st start of the season. How about this? Through Spencer's first 20 starts of the year, he's reached 10 strikeouts or more 8 times, including 4 of the last 5 starts. And like we mentioned, facing this Red Sox lineup for the first time in his career. And it's a lineup that's been so hot. The Red Sox are a Major League best 14-5 since June 30th. And the reason is they've had so many batters in their lineup hot at the same time. They have definitely been in harmony. And one of those guys, Rafael Devers, and a soft little roller up the first base line, barehanded by Spencer, throws to first. 1 pitch, 1 down here in the second. 1-3 put out. That'll bring Duvall to the plate. But you look at that span of time, Nick, and look at the numbers for Yoshida, for Devers, for Duran, for Chang. All of these guys, all 4 of those guys have been in their best stretches of the entire year.
And that's how you win ball games. If you're relying on offense, they've been really good offensively, but it hasn't been 1 or 2 guys carrying the load. Been up and down pretty good.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Adam Duvall takes a strike.
It sounds very familiar.
That was the Braves in June.
An entire month.
And I feel like they've had stretches where at least 3 or 4 guys are hot, but in June, everybody was hot. There's a called strike. 0-2 on Duvall.
If you're punching 7 across every day, good chance you're going to win a bunch of ball games. And we were asked that question, at the end of June, could they sustain this type of success? And obviously the answer is no, you can't to that degree, but the quality in this lineup is so good that you expect greatness every day.
0-2 on the way. Duvall hangs alive, fouling 1 back.
And every single person that I've talked to here, and same thing happened in Milwaukee, is they write in the lineup and they're like, oh my goodness, there are no outs in this lineup. This lineup is so deep, it's so good, and everybody's so just in awe of what they've been able to do.
2 and fouled back again. Well, to your point, I mentioned that the Red Sox have won 14 of the last 19 games. In that span, they're averaging 6 runs a game. So it has definitely been an offensive tear for the Red Sox here in the last 3 weeks. 0-2 pitch on the way. And Duvall is doomed. He swings and misses at the slider. And that's strikeout number 2 by Strider.
Spencer didn't throw 1 slider in that first inning, threw 10 pitches, 10 fastballs. Broken it out here in the second. Looks pretty crisp so far.
Well, he's going to get his strikeouts, but I think one thing that at least they'd welcome over there in the third base dugout, we've seen a couple of outs early in counts, first and second pitch, little rollers. Here's Alex Verdugo. Takes fastball inside. Braves have been at a stretch of their own where things have not been all that great. 1-0 pitch is low and inside. And I say that comparatively because we saw them absolutely take off. Braves have lost 6 of their last 9, so it could be a lot worse. But the team ERA in that span, 6.04. And that's something that Spencer is trying to correct this evening with a really good outing on the mound and see if the bats can come alive tonight here at Fenway. No score. 2-0 to Verdugo, and a big bouncer up the first base line. Strider comes off the mound, and he gloves it and applies the tag to the passing by Verdugo. So down they go 1-2-3, and Spencer playing his position very nicely there in the bottom of the second. We head to the top of the third inning. No score in Boston.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
Gulf Coast Aquarium is now Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet. They have a full line of live reptiles and reptile supplies, including the area's largest supplier of ZooMed products. ZooMed, a family-owned business with over 45 years of U.S.-based manufacturing. ZooMed is #1 in reptile products worldwide and is now available at Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet, 469 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
I can't wait to talk about this Atlanta Braves game. Hi, this is Ryan Mulvey inviting you to join me weekday mornings starting at 11 a.m. for the Inside Drive on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Braves and Red Sox scoreless here at Fenway. We head to the top of the third inning. Folks, the Braves are looking to continue their winning ways, and the original Louisiana brand hot sauce is here to help. The original Louisiana brand hot sauce, the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Garcia, Harris, and Acuna due up here in the top of the third for Atlanta. By the way, some news tonight. Max Fried was scheduled to make a rehab start tonight with the AAA ball club Gwinnett. They're playing Jacksonville, but Max unfortunately sick tonight, won't be able to pitch, and hopefully good to go tomorrow night. And again, hopefully just a minor setback by 24 hours for Max Fried, who's fighting his way back to the big leagues. Pitch all the way to Orlando Arcia, and he swings and misses 0-1. Garcia had a nice night at the plate last night. Had a couple of good rounds of BP today. And a bouncer out to short, taken on 2 twin hops by Yu Chang. Throws to first base, 1 down. Hey, Braves fans, catch every pitch with the fastest internet and a reliable connection you can count on in the clutch, even during peak hours. The next generation Xfinity 10G network. One down for Michael Harris. He has definitely been a spark plug lately. Michael batting .407 over the span of his current 8-game hitting streak, 11 for his last 27. Next ball low from Bayo, 1-0.
The hit streak's just been so quiet, too.
There's a 1-0 pitch on the way. And Harris takes a called strike. I have a couple of theories on that. Number one, where he bats in the order. And number two, the other guys in the lineup with him on his team.
He's going to get overshadowed unless he does damage.
Right.
A lot of damage.
1-1 popped up. Drifting back Devers at third onto the grass of the left, just behind the infield cutout, makes the catch 2 down. I would love to know at the end of this season which 9-hole hitter had the longest hit streak for the year. 8 could be towards the top.
That's a good question. I mean, how many teams have guys like Michael hitting 9th?
Yeah, every single day. hitter that good batting ninth, and number 2 to have the same guy in the 9 hole every day. Ball outside to Acuna.
I just think it's so great that they don't have to move him. They don't have to rely on him to be in a different spot in the order.
Ronald takes the ball inside, goes ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. No runs, 1 hit for the Braves. No runs, no hits for the Red Sox. Only hit of the game, the single by Riley in the first inning. Ronald sees 1 miss outside, laid off the fastball. And now a 3-0 count on Acuna. Guessing green light here. 3-0 pitch on the way. Takes ball 4, nowhere near. He was ready to pull the trigger, but Bayo wouldn't challenge him. So it's a 2-out walk, and here comes Ozzie.
That's one thing I love about the game now, which is completely different than it used to be. Everybody's willing to swing 3-0. So you're putting pressure on the pitcher to make a pitch in a 3-0 count. Obviously, Ronald's one of the best in the game, but Bayo has to try to nibble that corner 3-0 and misses away. Now Ronald, you know how speedy he is.
Ozzie sees ball 1, sail high and away.
See if he can get a good jump here.
Ronald with 2 steals last night, up to 48 on the year. It's a good lead over there at first base. He's leaning at first, not going. 1-0 pitch outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Now Bayo had a question for Ryan Willis as to exactly where that was. He said, was it away? And Willis says yes. So a 2-0 count now on Ozzie. And suddenly Bayo has lost his feel of the strike zone. Pick off to first. Ronald back in with a dive. Love to see Ronald get 2 steals tonight if I can be greedy. Have 50 steals through 100 games. That'd be awesome. Tonight, game number 100 of the season. Not going. 2-0 pitch. Line drive. Foul. Into the screen above the tarp down the right field line. Yeah, 50 steals through 100 games. That'd be pretty special.
Yeah, we were wondering if he would ever stop running, but it just doesn't feel like it.
Hasn't mattered the pitcher, nor the catcher, nor who's at the plate. He's been going. He's been so successful. Bluffs here, 2-1 pitch. There's a ground ball to first and a big glove by Casas. Steps on the bag, and Ozzie is retired. So the Braves get a 2-out walk, and that's all. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We head to the bottom of the third. Still no score at Fenway.
When you get a deal at the Big One sales event, you can't help but celebrate. Celebrate your way with a deal at the Big One sales event. Lease a new 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE for $319 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through August 1st, 2023. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3618 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Hey Braves fans, summer is officially here, and you know what that means. Bugs, termites, mosquitoes, ants, and roaches will be out in full force. Luckily, you can trust the pros at Aero Exterminators to keep your home pest-free inside and out. Aero protects homes and businesses and is the official pest control provider of Truist Park and the Braves, so you know you're getting the best from the best. To set up a free pest inspection, call 888-GO-AERO or visit aeroexterminators.com.
Some choices are complicated, like do I get peanuts or popcorn? Thankfully, others are much simpler, like rooting for the Braves. And choosing Truist One checking. No overdraft fees. Lots of perks you can cheer for. And when your account balances grow, you get upgraded automatically. Oh, and with more than 130 Atlanta branches, you can add convenience to the list of perks too. Truist One checking. One simple choice. Branch count as of May 31st, 2023. Atlanta metro area. Truist Bank member FDIC.
The Aloft at the Battery Atlanta looks forward to welcoming you for all your travel needs and are committed to safety and cleanliness. Aloft Hotels, different by design.
Score in to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be Casas, Wong, and Chang coming up with the Red Sox here in the bottom of the third. Hey, Louis Tion in the house tonight. They just showed him up on the video board. Speaking of a good pitching matchup, he was outstanding in his career. Some great years as a Red Sox, and also some great years in Cleveland as well. But they love him here.
You ever meet him?
Never have.
He smells good.
Does he really?
He smells really good. Really nice guy, too.
El Tiante. Tristan Casas leads off versus Spencer Strider. 2 strikeouts for Spencer to this point. First pitch sent deep down the left field line, slicing towards the seats. That's a foul ball. Casas 1 for 4 in last night's ball game, and he's one of those players that I mentioned earlier who has been ripping the cover off the ball. He's been hot lately. 0-1 on Casas. 247 hitter for the year. Left-handed stick, rips one to left field, and that'll bounce in front of Eddie Rosario. I don't think Eddie could do that. That was a low liner there. Came in, played it on the hop. So there's the first base runner of the ball game for Boston. From powering Braves country to creating cleaner energy across the state, at Georgia Power, we're always rooting for Georgians. And that's why we're the official electric energy partner of the Atlanta Braves. Aboard for Connor Wong. Red Sox catcher. Fastball outside at 99. Wong, 27 years old. He's from the Houston area, went to the University of Houston. Pitch on the way from Strider out of the stretch for the first time. Ball low and outside. For Wong, this is his 3rd year with the Red Sox. Got more playing time this season than any other season for sure. He played 27 ball games last year. This is his 79th game to play in this year. Strider deals. There's a high fly ball to right field. Ronald Acuna looking up into the Boston sky and playing around with first base runner Tristan Casas. Acted like he didn't see it, trying to deke him, but he had it all along. Makes the catch, 1 down. He has fun, doesn't he?
He always wants to deke somebody.
Well, if you do it 50 times and it works once, it's still worth it.
I would like him to do it a little bit less to make it a little more effective.
Maybe showing his hand a little bit too much. Here's Yu Chang. First pitch slider in for a called strike. Scoreless game, bottom of the third. Batting 9th tonight. Pitch from Strider. Hack and a miss with a slider.
That slider's tight today, too. Usually has a little bit more sweep to it, but it's in that 86, 87 range and some really tight late movement.
Ahead 0-2. 0-2 on the way. 0-3. Swung on and missed. Went to the slider there, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Strider. Let me ask you a question about that pitch in your experience. You might get a couple different variations of a slider night in, night out. And for a guy who throws a lot of them, like Spencer, his slider tonight might be a little bit different from what he might have 5 games from now. Can it change a lot through the course of a ball game, or is that pitch as is for that ball game?
I think he is for this game.
Pitch all the way to Duran. Check swing, doesn't matter. Called strike, 0-1.
And he might go back and look and want a little bit more break with it. But to me, from a hitter's perspective, if I'm expecting a bigger break to it and you have a slider, smaller, tighter break, it's going to be hard for me to adjust.
0-1, busted his bat, sends one foul into the seats down the left field line.
And so like a guy like Charlie who throws the curveball all the time, sometimes he can adapt and tighten the curveball up a little bit. Yesterday we saw a lot of sweeping curveballs.
Right.
Sometimes when he feels right, he can adjust and adapt where he gets a little bit more vertical and less horizontal on it. I don't think Spencer is going to change from what he's doing today. It just seems like that's kind of what that slider is today.
So if you're facing him tonight, the slider that you see in the first inning might be the